今マドリードのDSD のトップドクターミーティングみたいなのがあって、それに行くんですけど、道間違えましたいきなり全然わけのわかんないところにウーバーで放り出されまして、ウーバーで着いたのがですね、この道の奥あそこですあそこで DSD のミーティングやるみたいな、ちょっとおしゃれとか思っちゃったんですけど、なわけない。いきなり、ちょっとやってもうたみたいな感じで、午後のセッションコーチもあるんですけど、間もなく始まるんですけどね、到着できてないんで、まずは、無事にね、つけるかどうかっていうのがすごく大事。マドリードね、さっきもライブでお話しましたけど、なんかあるな、マドリードなんかつけない。前回もホテルでつけず、今回もつけずで、ウーバーの方がね、今来るのをちょっと待ってるんですけど、まだね明るい時間なんで、戦ってもなんとかなるかな。この前はね、本当に真夜中深夜に6人ぐらいに囲まれたんでまあ今はまあね、平和な時間なんで、今マドリードは、昼間の2時50分です。で、3時からコーチマンの、セッションが始まるんで、それにはちょっと間に合いたいなと思うんですけども、まあダメですね。It's not Madrid City Center。なんかね、WhatsApp で DSD のチームの人がお前間違えとるというのをガンガン今送ってきてくれてるんですけど、まずはたどり着けないみたいなクソもうまさに行ってこい、一滴球状態ですね。もうリアル一滴球。今ね、一人でこんな感じで、はい、撮影しながら待ってます。変な日本人がいるぞと多分思われてるんでしょうね。すいません。ウーバーが来るのが唯一の頼み。これどう見てもこのロケーションでね、あるわけがないんですよ。あるわけがない。ましてや奥であるわけがないみたいな。ドライバーからなんかメッセージ来た。グラシアス。ドライバーが35いくつでしょう。ちょっと待ってくださいね。ドライバーさん3527、3527ですよ。これ今自分に言ってます。3527のウーバー来てって、僕を助けて。あっち綺麗だな。多分あっちが街の中心なんだよね。間もなく3時になりますけど、3527の、ウーバーちゃん、あと5、6分で来るという感じで、ちょっと確認しないとダメですね。結構ね、やってますよ。結構やってます。でもウーバーがあるんで、今はね、だいぶいい時もあるかな、悪い時もあるかな。3527、 まずね、どっちから来るかも分かんないんでね、こっちかもしれないし、あっちかもしれないしね。いってらっしゃい。3527ウーバー。まだね、これ違う。到着していないけども、いろんな盛り上がりがあって、旅というのはね、こういう失敗の連続ですね。失敗の連続、そしてリカバリー能力大事です。はい。いちいち動じないとね。ウーバーちゃん来て、みんなね、ドライバーさんというか運転してる人がここで僕が立ってるからみんな見るんですよ。だからウーバーの人かなと思って見たらちょっと違うみたいな。あとね、皆さん知ってますか？違うね。ウーバープールって知ってます？ウーバープール。あれってね、フランスのパリで使ったんですよ。ウーバープール。そしたらそのウーバー来たから乗ったら他の人とか乗ってて、みんなでシェアするウーバーみたいなんですよ。全然知らない人が乗ってるぞみたいな感じで初めびっくりしましたけど、進んでますね。近く3527よ。これはもうたどり着くまでがまずねその点日本はいいですよね。日本はね、日本はもう夜でも移動できますしね。こんなにこうね待たなくてもいいと。これね、夜だとねだいぶデンジャラスですよ。見てください。これですからね。あっち側のなんかあれもなんかあんな感じですし、前回のマドリードもね、ほんとね3527って3527なかなか来ません。これか違う。3527ちゃん、今が3時2分前とね。まもなくクリスチャン・コーチマンちゃんのやばいのが始まるんですけど、行けずみたいな。まず無事に到着できるかどうかにかかっております。怪しいのがいっぱいいますね。はい。怪しいのマンサかなんかね、マドリードって最近はどうなのかな。なんか若い人、スペインのマドリードって25歳以下の若い人が4人に1人ぐらいなんか職がないみたいな。それ僕が一番初めにスペインにいた時なんで2010年、今から10年前なんで、もう今は変わってるかもしれませんけど、あの時もね嬉しすぎちゃって初めてバルセロナ行ったから飲んじゃって、昼間にで昼間こういうベンチで寝ちゃってたんですよ、酔っ払って。352な間もなく来ると。で目が覚めたらなんか若者に囲まれてたみたいなありましたけど、今回はちょっとないようにしたいなと。 来た。This way? あれです。やった。いいやつだね。いい人じゃん。ほら。Gracias. Wonderful car.
Thank you. Do you speak some Spanish? No.
Spanish, just a little bit.
A little. Okay, no worry. No, I mean, you speak a little Spanish, but I can't speak at all your language. So.
No problem.
Suddenly I was like telling you something in the app.
Yes, I saw. Jet lag. Do you have a little bit jet lag, right? But do you understood the right place?
Where we are heading to?
Do you understood for the final destination? It's close to here.
No. The address is Pozuelo de Alarcón.
About how?
It's here, right? Planning Center.
DSD Planning Center. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, great. Business trip.
Bali.
Business trip, right?
Yes.
You are recording now?
Yes, now I am recording. 乗れた。あと、DSD のプランニングセンター行きというのが確認できました。ちょっと安心と。実はですね、朝のここに着いたのが何時？10時、9時で、スペインちゃんはねちょっと遅いんですね、お食事とかなので、お腹空いてるんですけどちょっとお昼食べれなくて、でまあね、その DSD ミーティングの時になんかウェルカムランチっていうのがあったみたいなんで、そこで食べようかななんて思ってたんですけど間に合わず。でもまあね、見てください、明るくてもう平和じゃないですかね。ほら平和だからね、明るくないとダメですよ。明るくないと危ないですから。女性陣は絶対に明るい時間の行動でお願いします。なんかどうやら DSD プランニングセンターでやるみたいですね。前回行ったとこと同じだったら随分真面目なとこでやったなって、はい、新しいのかな。新しい。天気いいのよ、マドリードは。いいですね、明るいから昼間はポジティブになるよね。マドリード、一番初めにマドリードのプランニングセンター行ったのがね、いつだったかな。なんかセダスペインアライナー矯正の中日かなんかに行ったんですよ、初めて行った時。あの時もマドリードで、スペインアライナー矯正歯科学会っていうのがあって、で、はい、キャミーちゃんとあとサムとかね、トンマソとか あとね、シュープ先生もいたかな。シュープ先生いなかったか。で、マドリードにせっかく来たんで DSD のプランニングセンター初めてちょっと行きたいんですってお願いして、お昼の休憩時間中かなんかにね行ったんですよ。でその時はね、その DSD のプランニングセンターがまだネモテック社とこう一緒にいる時で、初めて行った時はこうみたいな、ここが DSD のヘッドクォーターかみたいなねありました。でそれからはね3回ぐらい行ってんのかな。はい、去年も行ってね、去年はウォンムーン先生、この MSE のウォンムーン先生のその弟子のレイモン・モンペルさん先生からね2日間のコースを依頼されて、その2日間コースの時にその一緒にフランシスコーチマンを講演してて、で一緒に DSD センター行ったのと、その前は、キャミーちゃんとあれか KK ツアーの時か行きましたね。何気になんか来てるんですね、マドリードね。マドリード見てください、橋の下で生活してる人たち、結構立派ですよ。見えます？立派。ホームレスじゃなかったりしてピクニック中だったりしてそうなんですね。今日本時間はそう日本の時間考えちゃいけない。これはね菅原先生にご指導いただいて、いつも日本の時間は考えちゃいけませんと、この時間に集中してくださいと、菅原淳二先生にご指導いただいて、僕もそうしてます。今年はねまだね菅原淳二先生と一緒に菅原淳二先生のカバン持ちをさせてもらってるんですけど、またそれをね今年になってしてないんですよ。それもねなんかちょっとね僕のちょっと調子が来るんですよね。やっぱり菅原先生とね一緒にこう濃密な時間を過ごさせていただくのがやっぱりすごい僕に勉強になりますし、やっぱりね菅原先生はねかっこいいんですよ本当に。僕は日本の矯正科の先生の中では多分ね菅原先生が一番かっこいいと僕思うんですよね。だから菅原先生と一緒にいろんなとこに行かさせてもらうのがすごく楽しいですし、すごい勉強になるし、ずっと行きたいですね本当に。時間が許されるなら。今年はそれがまだねちょっと少ないんで、菅原淳二先生の海外のご講演もちょっとなんかこうコロナの関係で延期になったりとかあるみたいなんですよ。なのでもう可能ならばね一緒にお時間を共にさせていただきたいと思ってます。綺麗ですねあそこら辺とかね。マドリードでね本当はちょっとゆっくりねご飯食べたいんですよ。道が混むのよマドリードは。道が今コーチマンのが始まったみたいです。メールが来ました。ケンジどこにいんだとすいません、まさかいきなりね変なとこ行っちゃったなんて言えませんので、なんて言おうかな。 マドリードを散歩してたとか、かっこよくちょっとシャンパン飲んだんだみたいな、それで時間がどうしましょうかね。今道端に変なやつ来たねなんかもう普通にいるからね。まあね、ここにその向かっているその行きね、ホテルからここに行く途中も怪しいなと思ってたんですよ。長いから。ホテルのコンシェルジュの人が8分ぐらいとか10分から8分20分ぐらい乗っかってたんで、おかしいなって。でそれもね、でもちゃんと DSD のいただいたインビテーションのアドレス入れたんですよ。ねえ、まあ危ないね。マドリードは危ない。コーチはもうね、去年の末ぐらいからマドリードに引っ越して住んでるみたいなんですよ。コーチマン曰くサンパウロに比べたら全然いいと。サンパウロかなり危ないみたいになって、かなり危ないサンパウロ。スペインはね、気候も穏やかですし、ね、あったかいし、雨降らないし、地中海に近くて、ね、いいですよね。これ大学かな。天気出てきた。いい感じ。でもね、またね、ちょっと長いんですよ。また変なとこ連れてかれてねえかなみたいな。あっち行ってこっち行ってドボンみたいな。ドボンやだよ。ね、この YouTube ライブやると、僕が今まではね Facebook とかだと、まあ行ってきますみたいな感じで、空港を飛行機乗りますみたいなの乗りました、で着きました、会場みたいな感じなんですけど、 Facebook ライブは本当にライブって生々しいですね。生々しい。こんな感じで海外で頑張ってます。どういうことかっていうとね、やっぱ無駄な時間多いんですよね。はい。往復の時間もやっぱりね大変ですし、着いてからも大変ですしね、日本と違うんで。なのでその海外で勉強するっていうのは大変なんですよ、本当に。海外で勉強するのは大変なんですよ、本当に。移動するになっちゃう。だからここでモチベーションを上げていかないとダメですね。でもまあある意味逆を言うと、ちょっと冒険みたいな感じでね、ワンピースの新しいショーが始まるみたいな感じですか。やっぱ時々高速乗ってるけど大丈夫かこれ。すごい飛ばしてるぞ。まあなるようになるってなる。土地勘もないからね、全く分かりません。雲が立派ね。立派な雲。 僕がね小学校の時に見た天空の城ラピュタっていうのがあって、宮崎駿監督、あんな感じなんですよ。見えますか？雲。天空の城ラピュタをね3回見たんですよ。同じ日に朝見て、で同時上映の、シャーロック・ホームズみたいなのがあって、ワンちゃんのラピュタ、ホームズ、ラピュタって見たんですよ。最後品川駅で弟ゲロ吐いてました。帰って父に怒られるみたいな。朝行って帰ってくるの夜か7時ぐらい、どういうこっちゃって。雲が綺麗ね。今3時15分ね。高知湾の公園が15分経っておりますけど、さあ間に合うのかどうか分かりません。そればっかりは帰りホテルに着けるかどうかも分からないね。大丈夫かも分からない。とりあえずこの泊まってるこのホテル全然遠いとこですね。近くのホテル取ってなんでこんなに遠くまで来る。近くのホテルを取ってくれたらこんなことしなくていい。ホテルをね近くに取ってもらえたらね、こう歩いてペッとこうね、こんなことしなくていいんですよ。なんかねホテル良くないんですよね。1万でも2万でもいいから高いところでもいいんで、1万に近いところを取っていただきたいんですよ。 れですか、これはちょっと待ってくださいね。コメントいきますか、ね、せっかく見てくださってる方がいますんで、コメントの仕方がねまだよく分かんなくて、どうせみんな全てのメッセージ表示されます。一部の上位チャット、ミーティング中も録画ですか。ちょっと待ってくださいね。します。ミーティング中やりますよ。ミーティング中やらなかったらね、この尾島のね、世界の果てまでイッテ Q 見ててもしょうがないですからね。チャットへようこそ。これどうすればいいんだ。チャット、なんかついたっぽいぞ。でもここはいつもの DSD のプランニングセンターだ。Here is right.
Great.
Here?
Yes.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hola.さて、ここが住所のところだから。皆様ね、この中から行くんですけど、どこだったっけかな、忘れたな。でも一応ね、ここがDSD のプランニングセンターのヘッドクォーターなんですよ。いつもね、連れてきてくれてる人がいるんで、単品で来たのが今回初めてだったんで、無事にここまで来ればね、いけんじゃないのかなと思います。人に聞きましょう。セキュリティがあるぞ。セキュリティ。ここじゃないっぽいな。箱もいないし。Hola, you first. Nice to meet you. Here is DSD Planning Center, right? DSD Planning Center.
¿Por qué preguntaste?
This building, DSD Planning Center? No?
Planeta, a ver, ¿cómo? Corporación, empresa.
DSD, no?
¿Cómo diría? ¿A qué dirección va usted?
OK. Chao. 違う。ダメだ。あっちが行ってみよう。前来た時のこんなもんですよ。一人だと何もできません。ちょっとお待ちください。グラシアス。ここだ。
The first row on the third,
OK?
on the right.
Thank you. Gracias.
Bye.
フロア行ってライト。これか。あったぞ。入れんのかこれ。大丈夫ですか。来た来た。Hello. Hi, nice to meet you.
Victor,
My name is Kenji from Japan.
very nice to meet you.
This.
There we go.
Congratulations this time.
There we go. Did you
Yo
just make
katta.
it? Did
Yes.
you just arrive? Okay. Cool.
Just alive. Can I?
Is there anything else you need?
Yes. Do you have some seat for me?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
That's a challenge. Move away from this. Because in the 21st century, we cannot stand this anymore. Maybe dentistry below these prostheses are good. Maybe dentistry is great. But this is fake. This is fake. And you can work with a decent technician and still, we were not trained. It's very hard to replicate the perfect imperfections of nature. That's why we play safe. We play safe by making things straight because we blame the patient. We blame the patient. But it's our fault. It's our fault. So we need to fight. And as we move into this new modern natural dentistry, modern natural dentistry, look how beautiful the name is. Modern natural dentistry, natural restorative dentistry, preserving everything we can, recovering what was lost, and giving back natural smiles, right? Look at this lady. She went to a decent dentist 20 years ago. Implants were okay. Gum is okay. Bite is okay. She's okay. She's kind of happy. She's like coming for a second opinion. Can we do something better? And then she was lucky enough to meet a real smile designer. In this case, one of my mentors, Juvenal de Souza, a technician from Brazil. Look at the difference in these two prostheses. Look at the prosthesis that is done by a decent team, no smile designer. And a prosthesis done by a real facial expert, a real smile designer, a real morphological researcher. This guy, he researches what is missing. He travels in time back to understand how to bring back to this lady her real confidence, how to be inspired by genetic information, how to look at her daughter and say, this is probably our inspiration. How to bring this back into this prosthesis and have this lady with the daughter crying for hours, non-stop, so grateful. So grateful. This is a smile designer working. Starting from the face, understanding. And that's why when I read the article from Richard Lombardi, I said, this guy knew. In 1973, Richard Lombardi said, dentistry is creating abominations. We smile designers, we have no clue what we are doing. We don't know how to recover what the patient lost. And the more structure the patient loses, the more lost we are. That's why I always mention when restorative dentists and technicians say that the single central case is the most difficult case in dentistry, that is not true. And by believing on that, we are working against dentistry because then we believe on the wrong thing. The single central scenario is the most difficult case when it comes to color. Only that. Color. And color, by the way, is the least important thing about restorative dentistry. By far. Color doesn't change people's life. Facial harmony and smile design change people's life. So the single central, no, the single central is the easiest restorative case to do if we want to recover natural looking smiles. If we have to do 4 crowns, it's more difficult than the single. If you have to do 6 veneers, it's more difficult than the single. If you have to do a full arch, it's even more difficult. And if the patient has soft tissue defect, even more difficult. And if the patient lost vertical dimension, even more difficult, because as we lose intraoral references, we are not trained to find the references in the face and bring back nature. So we are lost. And then we create what Richard Lombardi said, the abominations. that restorative dentistry is constantly delivering all over the world. We cannot allow this anymore. We need to understand what we are doing. We need to move from situations like this, where you have all these problems, and we think the case is okay, and we need to understand how do we actually become a smile designer, a real smile designer. So if we go back to this slide, modern restorative dentistry, health and confidence, great clinicians and great smile designers working together to put the two pieces together so we deliver what we understand has a huge importance systemically, that is confidence. I'm going to say something that I strongly believe here. Smiling with confidence is, for a person's life in terms of health, as important as a good bite adjustment. If you do a perfect bite adjustment and the patient is not truly confident to smile, the harm you're doing to that person is the same. Smiling with confidence is proven to be one of the most important things to be healthy. So why we have 2,000 courses about function and almost nothing about real smile design, right? Why we have labs all over the world with natural libraries in their software and they don't use it because dentists don't ask for it. And they use fake libraries and smiles are looking fake. And then we blame the patient. So we know all these articles proving the power of smiling with confidence. And we know the story already mentioned. It's not about perfect, it's about confident. Beautiful story to our patients. We already talked about this. So I went back and I said, no, I want to be different. I want to be a real smile designer. I want to understand the face, the lip, and the smile. I want to be humble enough to admit what I don't know, self-critical to say and to find that I'm doing many things that are not correct, be judicious, and improve as an orofacial expert. I want to really be able to tell my patient that we control the 4 pillars, that we really control the 4. Not that we pretend we control, that we really control. And controlling aesthetics means controlling orofacial harmony and natural beauty. So as a modern dentist that is using these tools, you can tell your patient, we really control facial harmony, facial dynamics, and natural beauty. Natural restorative dentistry. At that time in my career, I also realized that I wanted to move from a good model technician into a facial technician. What does that mean? What is a model technician? Is what I call a technician that does beautiful work that looks great on the model, and you put in the face and it's like, Whoever tried a case that looked amazing on the model, and once you put in the face, you're like, Take pictures for the lecture, the pictures look great, so you don't tell anybody. The patient is like, So this is what I call a model technician. And I was a model technician for many, many years. All I cared was to make my restoration look beautiful on the model and to take cool pictures and to show to my friends. I can't recall how many days and how many nights, weeks and months and years I wasted of my life to impress people with these fancy photography. Everybody went through this phase, right? And then, look at this slide. Oh my God, I love this slide. I used to be like, wow, I'm so good. I never told people that this case actually didn't look very good in the mouth. Let's not tell the whole story, right? I just want to be cool on stage. What this slide does for a human being, nothing. How can you change people's life with this? Nothing. All these cool images. So I decided, okay, let's really focus on what matters. How many lectures did we finish like this? I know, we all did this. You stop here. You show 300 slides of fancy, sophisticated surgical procedures, and you stop here. Successful case. So I said, no, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to understand natural beauty. I'm going to understand the face. And what pushed me forward was implantology. Because in the late 90s, I started to get cases like this. And then I realized that my skills to do cute 6 veneers was not enough to solve these cases. I was lost. I said, oh my God, what do I do here? Where do I start? And dentists didn't know as well. So they were doing, it's your fault, technician. Make it look good. So I started to use the tools in a different way to try to see what was missing. And that was my first topic that opened the doors of the world for me as a speaker. The pink partial anterior restorations. How to save the life of these people. Mutilated people not smiling with confidence for years. That was my inspiration, to give back them confidence. I realized today, because at that time, I didn't know exactly why I was so motivated to try to improve my skills, to deliver natural looking smiles to these people. And I realized today that I was hooked by the fact of giving confidence back. That was the thing I wanted. The confident smile. And I started to push surgeons to be humble enough to understand the limitations of what they are doing, regardless of how beautiful the surgical procedures were, to understand the aesthetic limitations, to understand the 3D defect size, to understand the relation between the pink and the face, to not place implants thinking that it's going to be a magic at the end. Actually, I have to be honest, I was thinking about business as well, because I was in trouble at that time, because everybody was blaming the technician. So the surgeon will come in, do a few grafting procedures, place the implant and say, I'm done, I'm cool, grafting is great, osseointegration is there, surgery is perfect, prosthodontist is your problem now. And the prosthodontist will say, no, I learned how to manipulate tissue. So change a button, push the tissue. Oh, the papilla, bang, everything, oh, I'm so good. Technician. And I was in deep trouble because nothing was in place, the architectural pink aesthetics was not there, and the restorations didn't look good. So I started to jump in at the beginning and say, don't make conclusions on these cases. Let me do a facially driven smile analysis. Let me show you exactly what is missing. Let me give you a clear vision about what you can reconstruct and what you cannot reconstruct. Let's make a fair decision in advance. Let's be honest to the patient. Don't promise what you cannot deliver. Don't think that if your implants are in and soft tissue is okay, that the smile is there, because the smile is not there. And at the end, I'm going to have to develop a prosthesis with all these problems, and the patient will not be completely confident. Not be completely confident. This is what I call the implant banana look. We all did that. The implant banana look. Implant prosthesis, they look like this because we don't understand what is missing. And this was recurring. And I was even doing my prosthesis to look like that. And then I said, no, I cannot do this. Let me go back. Let me study more. What is missing? So I started to realize that to do these partial implant bridges, I needed to go for the face and then pretend every case was a denture case, bring the principles, and understand where teeth and gum belongs towards the face. Because those little pink triangles called papillas, it's unbelievable how such a small piece of gum can be so important for somebody's confidence. Just that little tip that people show when smiling. As Dr. Garber said, grafting the aesthetic anterior zone is very frustrating because you can be the best surgeon on earth. You graft, you recover, you do magic, you recover 90% of what is missing. But all that matters is the final 10%. So it's like running a marathon and stopping 1 kilometer before the end. That's the sensation of doing implants in the aesthetic zone. I'm not talking about single implant. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missing teeth. Because the single implant thing is easy to restore. There's hundreds and thousands of lectures talking about the single implant. So when you go back to the denture, and as I always say, people that are good with dentures, really good with dentures, are really good smile designers. Naturally good smile designers. So we need to bring back these principles, and everybody that works here with us needs to be an expert on this as well, because this is what we do every day. The only thing that changed is that instead of a piece of pink wax, what we have is a 3D file on the computer, but the lines, proportions, positions, everything is exactly the same. So we need to go back and become great with wax rims. Nowadays, digital wax rims. And I became very humble when I started to evaluate 10 years ago my own wax rims that I thought were cool. And I started to take pictures of my patients with the wax rim. And I started to draw lines over these pictures, and I started to realize how off my wax rims were and how not good I was with wax rims. So we need to improve that, and that's why I fell in love with technology. Oh my God, it's so much easier to do a digital curve on the computer instead of trying to shape that. And then I was exposed to orthodontic because my father always had an orthodontic surgeon on board. And then I was exposed to people like Rick Robley and his amazing book from '93, For Me, The Birth of Interdisciplinary Facial-Driven Dentistry. One of the most amazing books ever. And then I realized that dentures and orthodontic are the same thing. We should plan them exactly the same. If you have an upper denture or an upper lip 4 on an orthodontic surgery, you should have the same principles guiding you to set the teeth and the gum on a denture or positioning the upper maxilla in the face. Exactly the same principles to be able to deliver a natural looking denture or a natural looking orthodontic surgery. Same thing. And again, I realized that congresses all over the world were spending hundreds of slides here, and honestly, I don't know if you agree with me, zero here. Every lecture of All on 4 that on late 90s, early 2000s became the biggest hit on congresses, osseointegration academies, implant academies, lectures, everybody wanted to lecture about how to do an All on X. And every lecture would skip this beginning. They would say, okay, we set the teeth here and then we did all the surgeries. And I'm like, stop. How did you get to this design? Because as Peter Dawson said, if you know where you want to go, it's easier to get there. And nobody would explain carefully in detail how to get there. And that's again the beauty of technology. Because as you design against the face, you understand exactly the relationship, what is missing, where to position everything. If you need to move bone, remove bone, add bone, and soft tissue, and where to place the teeth. And then we brought 3 concepts. So as you see, it's a little summary of the history of digital smile design. Okay? So what we brought to the table, by understanding the limitations that we saw, we started to bring to the process, and still at that time, we were doing 2D digital. There were no 3D digital. First concept that everybody is familiar, 12 o'clock position. You already know it's a mandatory photo for DSD. Why? Because you see things here that you don't see from the other pictures. I believe everybody that does DSD in the world knows this patient, right? The famous Raquel. Now, you probably saw Raquel's photo 1,000 times, and probably 99.9% of the time from the frontal perspective, right? Now look at Raquel from the 12 o'clock. Does it add on to your 1,000 times seeing Raquel? Doesn't it bring a different perspective to the smile designer? And that's why 12 o'clock became mandatory. You can see the power, and that's why we make it mandatory. Now I remember around 15 years ago, when I started to become a smile designer, and I started to tell my dentist clients, because I was a technician, look, doctor, now to work with me, it's mandatory to send me a facial picture. I remember that day. The day I made facial picture mandatory, I lost almost half of my clients. And it's, this is 15 years ago. Still today, huge majority of cases going into labs don't have facial pictures. It sounds obvious today, huh? 5 years ago, almost nobody or very few facial pictures. And 10 years ago, nobody was doing facial pictures. I had to struggle, to suffer, to add a facial picture into the analysis as an afterthought. And then when I asked people to do the 12 o'clock picture, I lost the other 50% of the clients. Comfort zone. Who are you to tell me how to do things? I've been doing dentistry for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. That's how we behave. That's human behavior, right? So this became, at that time, the famous slide, what we call DSD Classic Vintage. This slide went all over the world. Very proud of this. The 3 views, at that time, the 3 views of DSD. Frontal facial, 12 o'clock facial, occlusal. Align them, draw the lines, allow yourself to brainstorm a little bit, design the frame, do some drawings, and then treatment plan. Share the drawings with the team, share the drawings with the patient. But we were not happy enough. We said, no, but there's a 4th dimension. What happens with the side of the face? So I went back to my friend Octavio Sintra, said, Octavio, I don't know nothing about sagittal view, about the profile. Can you imagine? This is like 10 years ago. I didn't know nothing about the sagittal view. I didn't know what was a TVL. I didn't know what was NHP. I didn't know that. And I was pretending and fooling people saying that I was a smile designer. That I was a facially driven smile designer. And I realized how much I didn't know. And then I realized how much my restorative dentist didn't know as well. No problem to admit. We have so much to control. We need to work as a team. Somebody needs to know. I say, I'm going to be the one in my team. Octavio, please teach me just the basics, just what is relevant for a wax-up. And I believe today that everybody that does a wax-up should understand the basics of sagittal analysis. Oh, Christian, but it's not an orthodontic case. It's just 6 veneers. I don't care. Start from ideal. Start from the face. Allow ideal a chance. Put the wax-up where the face is asking, not where the teeth are right now. And I can guarantee to you one very important exercise. And this is probably one of the most impactful things about working with the planning center. If you send a model, an impression of a patient to any lab, and I'm talking even the best technicians in the world, and you ask them, please do a diagnostic wax-up. All technicians will be influenced by the existing position of the teeth and the gum. What makes the wax-up already completely wrong from inception. Because if you're doing a diagnostic wax-up, you should diagnose what is wrong and not follow what is wrong or follow something that maybe is wrong. If you ask your technician instead and say, don't do a diagnostic wax-up, just a wax-up over the existing teeth, that's a completely different thing. Then the wax-up is okay. But if you ask for a diagnostic wax-up, it's nonsense. Don't you agree with me? It's completely nonsense. And I was doing that for 20 years. We would try to fix things here and there, but we were using the existing root position, the existing crown position, the existing gum position, and making minor changes and losing and missing the opportunity from giving ideal a chance. Even if it's for 3 minutes, and say, forget about ideal, just compromise. Let's do whatever we can do with the existing situation. But the principle is very, very simple today. We start from the face. That's why we design first against the face. And sometimes the design is completely unrealistic, and then we adapt. So with that in mind, we added a 4th view for the DSD analysis. Even if the case was a pure veneer case, we always analyze the patient in 4 different angles. And we started to develop minimum lines to guide us. And again, you can imagine, this was the first time we created this name, cephalometric guided digital wax-ups. How cool is that? As a technician, to be able to tell your dentist, doctor, this wax-up is cephalometrically guided. I actually use cephalometric measurements and lines to quality control my wax-up, to give a better input into my wax-up, to understand if the wax-up is actually against the face. Should I add more volume or remove more volume? Of course, all these articles are absolutely all of them in the website. So we published these 2 articles about that. Another thing that we started to understand, that the bigger the defect is, if we're going to do a full arch, the more lost we are, and the proof of that was on the cephalometric analysis. Because if we go back into our all-on-4s and we do a facial profile cephalometric analysis, I also suggest you to try to do that and see how far off your all-on-4s are. Meaning, how much better they could be. If you would pretend that your all-on-4 is an orthognathic surgery, and then you do the right planning, and then you place the denture on the right position with the face. And that was the comparison that we did. And even experienced prosthodontists with experienced technicians were missing the point, missing the chance to rebuild what was lost. I tell you from the lab, we are setting teeth over a wax ring, lost in space, no information from the profile. How can you put the teeth on the face if we don't even have any information from here? It's a completely gas. We missed the point. And then we brought the third modification to the protocol, facial dynamic analysis. We realized that even from the 4 perspective, frontal 12 o'clock occlusal and profile, something was missing, the movement. And we realized that the static pictures were fooling our eyes. So we needed to bring the movement. So we started to record videos of the patient, and we made this mandatory. And then I lost more patients, more doctors. I said, video? No way. Why do you want a video? I'm sending you the facial pictures already. I'm not going to send you the 12 o'clock. And videos? No way. So doctor, we cannot bring this dimension into the design because pictures can fool our eyes. As I always say, sometimes you see things on the picture and you change your mind on the video. That's why it's mandatory that we designers, we analyze videos. We make final decisions according to videos, not according to static photos. The only reason why we need photos is because we need to make drawings, and we unfortunately cannot draw over videos. So we need the photos. But the photo is a consequence of a video. When we are drawing a line over a photo, we need to first understand the video and make the decision on the video about where the line needs to be, and then use the photo just to place the line. That's what we need to do. So the beauty of a smile comes from its motion, dynamics of the lip, dynamics of the face, the whole movement of the face influences the design. And I remember that time, I said, this is so obvious. We need to bring videos to the restorative workflow. I went online, I went to the literature. You know how many articles, restorative articles talking about video analysis for smile design? 0. The only articles talking about video dynamic analysis coming from orthodontics. The only ones. I said, oh my God, there's a gap there. Because we design smiles, orthodontists are telling us you need to analyze the movement. Right? So we started, and thank God, iPhone came. Oh my God, that was easy, because I remember 10, 15 years ago, to do facial videos was a nightmare. You needed a handycam, you needed a tripod, you needed to spend like a half an hour, and then you needed to renderize the video and then resave the file. Then the file was too big, then you couldn't send anywhere. It was a nightmare to even get a video to the technician. Nowadays, there's no excuse. So then comes the 5th dimension of the DSD documentation. So we have the frontal, where we learn a lot about dentures and we bring the denture principles. We have the occlusal, where we also learn from dentures a lot and from orthodontics. We have the 12 o'clock that DSD brought to the game. We have the sagittal that I learned from orthognathic, and the dynamic analysis. And that's the minimum information that we need to design smiles today. It doesn't matter if it's 2D, 3D, no D, analog, whatever. We have the 4 views. And that's why we have the basic, simple protocol that was determined around 2013. 2 frontals, 2 sagittals, 12 o'clock, and the video plus the models. So we were connecting the dots, and I realized this, I don't know if you agree with me. You go to orthognathic congresses, 90% of the pictures are here. They love this view. And every work they do, they like to show off from this view. Plastic surgeries, they have this view. There's no pictures of smile. You go to a plastic surgery congress, they have no clue what the word smile means. Can you imagine? They mess up the whole face and they don't understand the smile. They don't understand lip dynamics. They don't understand the basic proportions between teeth, gum, bone, lip, and face. You go to dentures, books, it's all about this view. Orthodontists, oh, they love this, right? This 45 degrees like us. You guys love that picture. It's all about that. If the picture class 1 here success. This is success. Of course, we are generalizing, but most of the pictures evaluation. If you could pick one picture to represent your work, that's it. And we restorative, oh my God, we are so in our little bubble. You go to the ceramic, fancy, symposium. All the pictures are like this. All the pictures, and they get fancier and fancier and fancier, and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and more layers and layers and layers, and absolutely nothing that changed people's life they like. Everything that is irrelevant, they get attached to it. We get attached to it. I was attached to it, right? So the worlds were segmented. But we continued the journey. We said, no, we can even improve more. We thought about how to customize the decision, as I mentioned, of the shapes. Can we take in consideration the personality, the character, the expression of the smile? Can we learn from architects, designers, hairdressers, fashionists, people that look at people and say, if you do this, you're going to feel better, you're going to look better, you're going to present yourself better. Morphopsychology, super cool. Does the smile has an impact? Oh my God. Can we customize the design with that information? Yes, we can. Can we change the designs based on some of these principles? Yes, we can. So we started to research that. I was presented to this idea by a Brazilian doctor called Braulio Paolucci. He wrote a book about it. I wrote a chapter on it. And we started to see how can we bring this information into technology. We're going to talk a little bit about it. There's a book, we wrote an article, several articles actually about the process. A more recent concept, we say, okay, I always mention, face is not symmetric. We all know that. How do you determine the midline of the face? We actually don't. Face don't have a midline. Because midlines from geometry means separating a symmetric figure into symmetric sides. The face is not symmetric, so there's no midline, there's no equal sides. So how do you start the design if smile design starts from the midline and there's no midline in the face? So Bruno Pereira, dentist from Portugal that lives in Spain, said, look, based on your lecture, I started to develop this concept of the facial, he was calling facial axis, and then we renamed to facial flow. Faces, they have smiles, they need to blend with faces. That's the word. Not be symmetrically attached to faces. Not be geometrically defined into faces. Smiles, they need to blend with faces. So it's a very simple concept. You look at the face and you define everything in the face that you're not going to change. Have you ever made this exercise? Because we are facial experts, right? We are smile designers. So we start from the face. So we look at the face. As dentists, we jump the face, we go to the mouth. So we go back and say, no. Hold myself. Don't fall into temptation. I'm not a dentist. I'm a smile designer, facially driven. Look at the face and tell yourself, what are the parts of the face that you will not change? And you say, definitely the front hand. I'm not going to change the front hand. He's not going to do a plastic surgery to remodel the bone. This patient will not change the nose. No, the nose is crooked, but he's fine. He's happy. He's not going to change the nose. He's not going to do orthodontic surgery. He's not going to do a lip surgery. He's not going to do a chin surgery. So actually, this patient is not changing anything. So what does that mean? That all the information is fixed, and what we're doing needs to blend in with whatever is there. Now, if the patient says, doctor, I want 6 veneers, and I'm definitely considering doing a nose job, how do you analyze this case? Now, what we do is that we remove the teeth and the gum from the game, because we're going to change, and we remove the nose from the game. And everything that is left is what is not going to change. We need to stick with that. And the nose needs to blend in. Does the nose needs to be perpendicular to the intercom? No, the nose needs to blend in with the features of the face that will not change. And if the whole face is going this way, by the way, the nose going a little bit that way will make the patient more harmonious. No, but doctor, I'm thinking about actually changing my smile, changing my nose, and changing my chin. Okay, so on our analysis, we're going to erase your teeth, because we're going to change. We're going to erase your nose, and we're going to erase your chin. But we're not going to erase your angles of the mandible, because you're not doing an orthodontic surgery. You're doing a mentoplasty. So we're going to change this, but we're not going to change this. Because if we do an orthodontic surgery, then we need to ignore the whole lower third. And we need to plan the smile and the lower third towards the face. Do you understand? So it's a very simple exercise that we need to look at faces and determine the most impactful visual structures in the face. Basically the eyes, the nose, the ears, the angle of the mandible, of course the lips, the putrum, the mentum, the teeth are one of the biggest, most impactful visual things in the face. And then we go backwards into what we're going to change, what we're not going to change. And then we plan everything to blend in. So if the structures are going one way, we say the flow is to the right or the flow is to the left. We need to design our smile following the flow, not tracing a line perpendicular and designing this parallel to that. No, go with the flow. That's what we call the facial flow concept. And we believe that this is going to be key for artificial intelligence to design smiles in the modern world. We're going to use these principles to design smiles before we plan the procedures. Orthodontic procedures will follow the flow, orthognathic procedures will follow the flow, 6 veneers will follow the flow, or the combination of everything. So we see the flow, we continue the flow. So as we analyze the patient with technology, we outline the most impactful features, and everything that we're going to change, we keep the dot. If I'm going to change the lower mandible, I remove these dots. And visually, I go only for the top dots. And then whatever is here needs to follow the top. But if I'm not going to change this, I keep these dots. And now my smile needs to be in harmony with all the dots. Does it make sense? This is the concept of facial flow. So if the patient is completely canted like this, we want to fix the cant, yes. But we want to understand that he has a flow. His mouth is scanted, but is scanted to the same size that his face is scanted. Do you see? So we don't want to fix completely to the eyes. We want to just fix enough to blend in with the flow of the face. So when we do these drawings, it's key that we don't go straight to 100% geometry. Then we respect the flow. So this is modern smile design. So it's still canted, slightly canted, but his whole face is slightly canted. He's happy, harmony, confidence is great. Then I went back to the papilla because I realized we didn't know enough about the papilla position with the face. And the first thing that I learned was a simple article from Stephen Chu that says an information that for some reason people don't mention that much. But I believe that this article from Stephen Chu is the number one reason or the number one nightmare for implant dentistry. This article from Stephen Chu says that every beautiful smile with beautiful teeth and beautiful papillas, the papilla is almost half of the length of the teeth. Now, if you extract 2, 3, 4, 5 teeth, you lose that rule, and you usually never get this rule back. This is the nightmare of implantology. This is the reason for the banana look. And people pretend the problem is not there. That's why, for me, probably the best perioprost guy out there that is almost a perio magician is called Iñaki Gamborena. I saw him lecturing. He said, the more I know about implants, the more I love teeth. Basically, my translation to what he's saying from the aesthetic perspective, of course he was talking about the biology, right? And everything that involves the implant, but also about aesthetics. The aesthetic interpretation of Iñaki said is this article. Because the teeth keep this rule. You lose the teeth, you lose this rule. And if you lose this rule, you lose one of the major factors to make somebody smile with confidence. So you have this implant look. I believe that everybody in this room, looking at a patient like this, we can almost guarantee this patient has an implant prosthesis, right? I look at this patient and I say, this is an implant prosthesis. You agree? The implant look. And even if you create some papillas, as I call, in between implants, we don't have papillas. We have wannabe papillas. I'm trying very hard to be a papilla, but I'm not a papilla, right? Papilla half, look where the papilla should be. And we pretend that doesn't happen. I don't see people admitting that often on lectures. I see people showing this and saying, oh, we are so good. I'm not saying this is bad dentistry. This is great dentistry. I'm not saying we need to deny the past. I'm not saying we need to criticize everything we did in the past. I'm just saying we need to be humble and we need to admit. Because as we admit, we push the industry to improve, to find solutions, right? So now you bring this rule, you understand why I brought this rule. Because I was trying to rehabilitate these patients. And I was getting surgeons that had no clue about smile design. By the way, even the best surgeons in the world usually have no clue about smile design. Even the best implantologists in the world have no clue about smile design. So there's a huge gap. And what is the second biggest problem? That not only surgeons have no clue about smile design, surgeons don't talk with technicians that understand smile design. They don't even want to talk, right? So we have this gap, and I wanted to identify this problem before major decisions, and that's the reason why 20 years ago I started to prepare myself to become very good doing pink look natural, because I saw this gap in dentistry, and that was the window for my success outside Brazil. That was the reason why Team Atlanta invited me to work with them, because of these prostheses. And that's what I lectured for many, many years about, how to surgically and prosthetically plan these cases, facially driven, to first understand what is really missing. Second, make the best decision for the patient. Be honest with the patient. Understand the limitations of the surgery and be fair when saying, oh, your smile is going to be great. Your smile is going to be great. Now, there's another rule that I want to share with you that makes implantology life even more tough. And the rule is this, that not only papillas are half of the length of the teeth, but when looking from the occlusal, papillas, the tip of the papillas, right above the contact point, also have more volume than the teeth. Look at this picture. Look at this papilla. And as you look at this papilla, try to remember your implant anterior cases. Don't cry. Don't cry. We all have those issues. We all face the same limitation. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. When we lose this, can we recover this? Unfortunately, they did invent a technique that is predictable to recover this when a patient loses 2 or more anterior teeth and the papilla is not there anymore. We can create wannabe papillas, but we cannot create yet real papillas unless we go pink prosthetics, unless we go artificial pink, right? Of course, artificial pink is not perfect, and you can understand why I like pink so much. This is my wife. She shows a lot of gum. Gummy smiles are beautiful. We need papilla to be happy. That's the conclusion. So I love this case. This case was humbly shared with me by Maurice Salama. It's a case that he showed for decades, for years. This is early 90s. Imagine, in the 90s, they were doing these amazing implant cases, already combining orthodontics. They actually invented this, the combination ortho extrusion, soft tissue grafting, combination with customized abutments, soft tissue manipulation, trying to move implantology from 4 implants all on 4 into delicate 1, 2, 3, 4 cases in the aesthetic zone. Beautiful moment of transition, right? Getting these results that are actually amazing. I'm not saying it's not good. And Maurice, why I said he was humble, because he gave me this case. He said, Christian, your story, you can explain exactly what you want to explain with this case. Because look at this case. From the frontal perspective, pretty good, huh? For the 90s, pretty good. At that time, they didn't know yet that putting 4 implants adjacent to each other was bad, was not the best. You know, Pontics was easier. But even with that in mind, the final result was not that bad. But look from this angle that represents exactly the point that I want to make. Does this picture make my point clear? That even when you have the best professionals on earth, when everything goes right, when every surgical procedure goes by the book, we still end up like this. Imagine if something goes wrong. So we need to understand smile design to understand the defect and to be realistic about the options when promising our patients your smile is going to look great. That's the point here. And we wrote several articles about this topic. Then we got more deep into the lip factor, into understanding the lip with smile design. We started to research the books and the articles about it. We learned that lips can be low, can be medium, can be high. We started to understand the basic articles that were talking about this, the population, and I learned that beauty is medium lip line. That low lip line, patients don't like that much, and high lip line, patients don't like that much. And high lip line was above 2 millimeters of gum showing on the smile. So we started to research with more dynamics, and we came with an article that changes completely the way we analyze lip dynamics. Why? Because all these articles were based on static photos. Static photos. How can you analyze lip dynamics with static photos? Does it make sense? Was video invented 5 years ago in the world, or video was around for 100 years? Now, what is more interesting, and we need to be self-critical about this. The problem is not the information. Of course, the authors were great authors, and they were trying the best to bring information, useful information. The problem is us not analyzing the information and making articles become the truth of the truth. And we have that so much in dentistry. There's so many articles that are just, that's it. That's the rule. It's 5 millimeters from the bone to the contact. That's the rule. It's the golden rule. We cannot have anything different. We don't question the techniques that got us to the conclusions. We just believe. And if you put video into perspective, absolutely everything changes. And the huge majority of people show much more than 2 millimeters of gum. And gum smile is beautiful. And people need to show gum. And that's the beauty of understanding what Juvenal de Souza did on his work when he recovered that patient. And he did the prosthesis for that patient that actually brought this patient from here to there. You see? This is not even a full smile. When she gives a full smile, she's going up to here. She's showing 5 millimeters of gum, and that is amazing. Because if he was a bad smile designer, he would be shy, like we all tend to be when we're doing a full white and pink rehabilitation. We tend to be shy. In the past, we had the justification that artificial pink was looking bad. So dentures, when we were building dentures, we were trying to move the teeth back and up to have the pink hidden by the upper lip because the pink was looking bad. But nowadays we have technicians all over the world that do beautiful pink that looks natural. So now we can go back to the principle to deliver what patients deserve. And that means that 70% of the people with beautiful smiles have gummy smiles. When they smile, they show 3, 4, 5 million. Peggy, give me a big smile. Gummy smile. You see? Peggy's not very good looking, but she's not a good example. But if she was good looking, that would be the case. But anyway, so she has a gummy smile. So according to if you read the books, we need to fix you. The books tell us that 2 millimeters or more of gum showing on a smile, the person doesn't look good. That's what we learned. And this is wrong. So we need to go back and reset our analysis. And as we see here, when patients smile to the camera, this is the smile. When they smile to the video, this is the smile. That's why we beg dentists to send us videos. For many, many reasons, DSD doctors are fans of videos. And the conclusion about gummy smiles is that when patients come to us saying, I don't like my gummy smile, we need to actually analyze, is it really the gummy smile? Because many times the patient thinks they don't like the gummy smile, but what they really don't like is the fact that teeth are wrong proportion and gum is uneven. It means that we don't need to fix her gummy smile. We need to fix tooth proportion and align the gum. Maybe a little gingivoplasty, some restorations, right? And if we do this, this patient will come back to you and say, wow, you fixed my gummy smile. No, we didn't fix your gummy smile. We gave you back good proportions, good alignment, and now your gummy smile looks beautiful, like all the beautiful smiles that have gummy smiles. So this rule is gone. And I love Bill Robbins, and this is just the way. I'm not criticizing, again, all these authors. I'm a big fan of all of them. I'm just showing how evolution happens. It's beautiful that we change. What does that mean? Two things for me. Two things for me. We need to keep moving. because we always improve and don't get stuck on things that we think, oh, that's the only way. There's no other way to do it. This is the rule. This is the article. This is the information. Because we can, in Portuguese we say, we can quebrar a cara, meaning we can break our face. We can hit the wall. Boom. What does it say in English? You shoot your feet. You say when you're so full of yourself, you can boom, and hit your face and break your face. Huh? We find, as we drink tonight, what is the best expression in English? Or we use the Portuguese, quebrar a cara. It's beautiful, it works. The guy break his face. So this is the conclusion, right? We got into the face so much that I started to meet some crazy young doctors that were passionate about studying the face. We started this group called Orofacial Club. Kyle Stanley was all about lip dynamics and the lip factor. Eduardo was always publishing with me. We published the article on dynamics. Facial flow that Bruno brought, and Bruno was working a lot with Stephen Chu, that is a great researcher, great teacher. So together we published several articles. They're all on the website. Several articles, all focus on smile design, all focus on facial analysis. Very interesting conclusions. You can see that on the website. And last year we actually got together. I organized what we call this the first. Okay, this is not happening. It's from
I was thinking.
Why?
Good question. Actually, we are probably going to do this next year. I told the team, because it was amazing. We got to get, who was here from here? So there was somebody, yeah, Carla, also, yes. So it was amazing because we started like this and we organized the whole thing, and then everybody came, and you can imagine, all my mentors for free, they paid from their own pocket, and they came to Miami to have in the same room. Levine, Arnett, Robley, my dad, and Robbins. Was amazing. So hopefully there will be I told them I cannot organize myself again. If somebody can take over, I'm in. Full support, right? But back to the story. I'm still in 2011, 12, doing much better, understanding all these principles already. Still in 2D, no 3D technology at that time, no facially driven 3D technology. We were at this point trying to see the face, draw some lines, right? You can even see the picture, cut the ears, cut the chin, not ideal, but good enough for me to do a natural head position or close to it. For the ones old school DSD, we even get emotional when we see this, the transparency, calibrating the intraoral to the face. It was amazing for me as a technician to do this for my doctors and to be able to understand this, draw facial driven line. So now try to think about me as a technician, bringing cephalometrics, dentures, orthodontic, lip dynamics, profiles, facial analysis, all these principles into the drawings. That's why at that time I was trying to explain, when people were getting to me and say, oh, DSD, these are just simple drawings of a picture, I would get so mad. It was not fair, every line was representing so much of my study and everybody that was learning and teaching and sharing to place the lines on the right position. That was the key. I remember that at that time we would organize courses and people would come all over the world to learn how to transform Keynote and PowerPoint into a dental software. That was the thing. And it was the big hit at the moment where DSD exploded all over. And I realized that people were coming to learn Keynote and PowerPoint, but the big problem was not to learn Keynote and PowerPoint, but to learn where to place the lines, regardless of Keynote and PowerPoint. Because you can have a technician that is very good with Keynote and PowerPoint doing the drawings for the dentist, and the dentist needs to know where to place the line. So I would be doing these drawings, and then somebody would raise, somebody that was like brave enough to show that they didn't know, and would raise on the back, and say, Christian, I understand you Control V, Control C, Control whatever, copy, paste, flip, whatever, but explain to me why you're placing this drawing right here. Why this is not here, neither there. And I was like, how can I explain this? Actually, I need to improve the process of explaining how I'm placing the lines and why I'm placing the lines. So that's when we started to really defend each one of the steps of what we call the smile frame. The 10 steps of the smile frame that we explain on residency, they come from this moment, because for me it was very intuitive. I was designing smiles every day. So I would look, oh, this is where the line should be. That's good, fine. And then, well, why here, not there? So we started to conceptualize what was natural for some, was not natural for others, to understand and help people to do better designs. And then came the ruler, the next revolution. Because until that point, these were just drawings. And what I would do was to sit in the lab and look at these drawings and try to wax up similar to the drawing. There was no connection whatsoever. There was no system, no technology linking drawings to models. It was just a big guess. So the ruler was a revolution, because as we did the ruler, we started to measure here, and with the caliper, we translated to the model. So maybe many of you went through that, and maybe your technicians benefit from that, and that was a revolution that improved our facially generated smile designs to the next level. We started to transform Keynote and PowerPoint into simulation softwares. Many of you did this. Very cute simulations. It would take a lot of time, but it will look very, very nice, right? We got better, a little faster here and there. Of course, nowadays we have much easier solutions to do smile designs. Smile designs in 2D will become artificially intelligent guided, and this year you're gonna see revolutions happening. In the next IDS, I can tell you, smile simulations will be in a click. You click, the smile is there, you make modifications in seconds, and the same way artificial intelligence is giving you ortho simulations in 60 seconds, artificial intelligence will give you smile simulations in 60 seconds as well, as a starting point. And then you bring your know-how to make the modifications necessary. But look where everything started. Because when I was a technician starting, simulations were already there. Actually, I remember my father. My father had a system called New Image, early 90s, that you were able to capture images and simulate smiles in 2D, before and after. Before and after. So why smile simulation now is a revolution? Smile simulation is nothing new. Smile simulation doesn't change dentistry. Smile simulations actually never took off, never became a big thing. Why? Because smile simulations were a gimmick. Smile simulations mean nothing besides a little motivational tool to make people say, wow, that's very cute. There was no continuation. There was no information there. You couldn't copy that into something. You couldn't do veneers to look like the simulation. You couldn't plan surgeries. You couldn't cut the gum. The beauty today is that for the first time, smile simulations mean something. Every 2D simulation becomes a 3D design identical to 2D that can generate a perio guide, that can generate an implant guide, an orthodontic appliance. So for the first time ever, 2D simulations are a revolution. Right? At that time, we were measuring these things and was very, very nice already. Finding these information, making simple measurements. Look at this. How cool is to be able to measure this? And set your waxer perfectly, shifting the midline to the face. So these were the measurements that I would do, and then I would use a pencil and draw these on the model and guide my waxer. Was it perfect? No. Was it better than everything else that we had at the time? Oh, way better. So my wax-up started to be in harmony with faces. That was a great product. I was a technician saying, doctor, I'm the only technician in the world that does facial-driven wax-ups that can guarantee that if you put my wax-up in the mouth, everything is going to be in position. Let me show you my technique. Boom, boom, boom. The doctor goes, wow, this is cool. It's actually a system, right? And then once we go to the final restorations, we were able to then have facial harmony. Was it perfect? No. Was it better? Much better. Still room for improvement? For sure. So we continue to move. We don't give up. And looking back, I see my first smile design. This is my first ever smile design. Look good? 1996-7, I did for Marcelo Calamita. That's the way we communicated at that time. Print the pictures and draw. Maybe the older doctors here used to do that as well. That's the only way we would communicate with images. I started to require the face, print the pictures, right? Print the pictures, draw with a pencil, and then wax it. And then 2004-05, I moved from drawings to PowerPoint. Still no link with the mouth. And then 2008-09, everybody liked the idea and everybody started to copy the DSD smile frame in different platforms. Some people using Keynote PowerPoint, some people using Photoshop, some companies developing specific solutions, but it was just a drawing tool with certain tricks to try to guide the waxer. So we would go from a pre-op, design the lines, make simple analysis, understand where we are. Look, just this exercise. I want to emphasize this, that at that point in time, technicians were doing a wax-up like this, holding a model on the articulator with no facial picture and no lines. And then you were adjusting everything in the mouth. And you were wasting time and money. Now we are here. 0.5 millimeter of wax, no wax, and we fix the cant, shift the midline 1.2, a little longer there, a little shorter here. We control the wax. And that was the DSD course at that time, to learn how to transfer a 2D drawing to the wax up. Of course you need to be great with wax ups, yes, you need a lot of skills, yes, but it was already much better. And we could do facial driven test drives that didn't require adjustments in the mouth from the aesthetic standpoint. That was a big thing. But we knew it was not ideal. We knew it was not perfect. We knew there was room for improvement. Because at that time, we're talking about now 2011 to 12, 3D softwares were showing up. CleanCheck was out there, Sirona Cerec was out there, Nobel Clinician was there, Dolphin was there. Said, yes, we're gonna talk to these companies and we're gonna link our DSD drawings to their software because they're gonna love our ideas. We knocked to the doors to all the companies who listened to us. Nobody. What? Facially driven? What? Face? Why? Why? Why interdisciplinary? Why connect perio with ortho? Why have a software that can link everything with the face? So we got really pissed with all the companies that we decided to get into a crazy endeavor and try to develop a software that would cheat the system and fake the integration. In combination with the crazy Romanian guy, Marius Haag, we developed this from scratch. Oh my God, time and money. But it was a great move because people saw the trend. They saw that simple facially driven drawings could actually guide a design and make something that could fit better into the face. So we started to use this fake transparency over CleanCheck, over Cerec, over Nobel Clinician, over all these softwares to try to link the dots. Because my speech was like this. My drawings are powerful because I studied to know how to draw them. So they need to guide the procedures. And we need to link them through technology. So drawings were powerful, things were getting together. We knew 3D was the way to go. There was no way around. Jump these. Almost done. So this is actually the article that explained this moment in time. There's a full article explaining this. So if you want to have fun with the handmade case, you can read this article, go back and translate the 2D digital into 3D handmade. It's very cool, very efficient. We have an article on this book, and other articles explaining step by step. So we were at this point in time, 2013, 2D was doing a lot for us, but you see the wax up is inspired but not perfect, and the ceramics is kind of but not perfect. And the interdisciplinary integration was still limited. So you see the differences. And I don't know, I have to confess a little trick that we used to do at that time. I saw many lecturers do that. We would finish the case. If the case looks good, we will copy this into the wax up and then take a picture and then do the drawings, copy the wax up. See how it works? Understand the trick? I know you did that as well. We all did. But look at the difference. There was a difference. And that's something that I always emphasize. The difference between the diagnostic wax-up, the blueprint, and the final outcome. 21st century. Can we do better than this? That's what pushes forward. That was what makes us move away from our comfort zone. People say, no, digital, no, technology. Come on. Handmade is beautiful for the slide. Now make this a routine in the office. This is unrealistic. It doesn't happen. And then if you add layer ceramics, it's a nightmare. It's gone. So we all know this slide. I always mention this slide. It's a revolution for me when I realized that we were architects that didn't respect projects. And modern dentists respect projects. Modern periodontists, modern orthodontists, modern prosthodontists, we respect projects. We use technologies to respect the project, to close the gap in between the initial blueprint and the final outcome. So at that time, without 3D technology, unfortunately, that was my conclusion, 2013. Facebook, completely unreliable. We have poor facial information in the lab. We don't understand lip dynamics. No link between wax-up and final outcomes. Poor oral facial knowledge. And then came the final revolution, 3D. We finally found a company that decided to listen to us. And that's the main reason why we are in Madrid. 2013, it's amazing to think that until 2013, I never been to Spain. I was everywhere in the world. I never been to Spain. Francis never been to Spain. John never been to Spain. We never been to 2013. I came for the first time. I gave a lecture. And there was a group like, I think Victor was, you were here, right? First course ever. Cool, very cool. Organized by Jose Navarro. My dear friend, visionary, he saw my life. You need to come to Spain. We need to bring this to Spain. Together with Christian Hazen, the CEO of Quintessence Publishing Company, they organized the first DSD course here. I said, wow, I'm going to Spain for the first time. So we give the course. There's a group like this at the back. There's a guy listening. He comes and Jose introduced me, say, this is a business guy. He's not a dentist. And what the hell is he doing here? You know, at that time, I had zero business mind. Zero. I had no clue. I had no business model. So he listens to the lecture. He comes to me at the first break and he says, Christian, what is your business model? And I say, I have no clue. What is business model? I say, what do you mean? Yeah, the way that you pretend to make more money from now on. You know, I travel, I lecture, they pay me, I go home. That's your business model? Oh my God, Christian. And he was straight to the, he's like, you're not smart. You're smart, but you're not smart. You need a business model. What you're teaching is powerful. This system, I'm going to use. I said, what do you mean you're going to use? Yeah, I own 250 clinics. Can I use your system in my clinics? I say, yeah, of course. You're here at the course. You paid for the course. He said, no, I actually didn't pay. I was invited by Jose. I didn't pay for the course. It's okay, you didn't pay for the course, but anyway, you're here. So yes, everybody paid. You take their ideas. Say, okay, I'm going to come back to you in 1 week, 1 month, and tell you if your ideas work. He comes back after 1 week, 1 month, 2 months. He said, Christian, your ideas work. We need to sit down and talk. So what do you mean it works? Yes. I went back to my 200 office. Let me tell you something, Christian. I saw in the room very smart dentists. I have to tell you, unfortunately, they didn't understand your concept. Nobody's going to do anything about it. They think it's just one more trick. I understood you were talking about how to bring smile design to everybody through something that you can control and do marketing on top. And I'm going to do this. I'm doing it. I did on 10 clinics from my 250 clinics. I did myself. You know why? Because I have a 3D software company. It's called Nemotech. Nobody knows about it. It's very small. But we have a software that can do exactly what you're teaching. And if you help me, we can develop the tools in the software to do facial-driven, interdisciplinary, integrated 3D smile. And you know what? You will never do wax-ups again in your life. Because I already did a few. We printed them. We went to the patient's mouth. I did it myself. I placed the patient thought I was a doctor. I wear a coat, and they were calling me Dr. Pepe. And I was putting the markup. I was selling the treatments. In the 10 clinics, in 1 month, we sold every single case that came in to the office with the markups, presenting the way you show with the picture before and after. People were crying, the whole thing. The doctors in the room, they didn't understand. Let's do something about it. So we came, we joined forces, and Nemotech was the first software to actually go through the full process. Not only integrating 2D and 3D in the same platform, but Nemotech, amazingly, still today, is the only interdisciplinary software in dentistry. Can you believe that? The only one. It's far from being perfect. It's very challenging to be used, but it's the only one. It's the only one that you can bring the face at that time, and you can do all the simulations in the same platform. So for the first time, we were able to do facially driven interdisciplinary treatment planning dentistry with technology. It was unbelievable. In 1 year, we developed the whole workflow. The only problem, the software would crash every 10 minutes, and you would lose everything. We said, that's the way. It still crashes a little bit, you know? It's still crazy. But we could design and simulate, and that's when I realized that there's two types of softwares in dentistry, and I already mentioned this, I want to emphasize, because that's the way we all need to teach digital. Digital technology is divided in two moments. What are the two moments? Pre-case acceptance moments and post-case acceptance moments. What type of technology do we need on pre-case acceptance moments? We need interdisciplinary, facially driven technology that allows us to diagnose, design, and plan, period. Does it need to be ultra precise? No. Does it need to know exactly by millimeter what we're gonna do? No. Does it need to manufacture devices? No. This is post-case acceptance technology, and it can be different softwares. The only thing that we need is to be able to export and import files. So the first platform is the key. Facial driven, and all the specialties in the same software. We need more companies creating these solutions. Come on. 21st century, only one, and it's far away from being perfect. And it's the one that we have to use, right? So this is when we created the idea. We moved from fragmented, non-facial, learning curve, completely lost in space, to facially driven, interdisciplinary, integrated. What we call the article we just finished, we're going to publish an article that is called Digital Interdisciplinary Planning Platform. And then after the patient buys the treatment, we take these files and we export to the second part of the softwares. There are softwares to manufacture devices. All the softwares developed in dentistry, they were developed for the second moment, not for the first moment. But we as dentists, we need much more help on the first moment, not on the second moment. We always talk about that on the residency, right? And then guided dentistry comes. Guided dentistry, the concept of the future that I believe in dentistry is only possible with an interdisciplinary guided, interdisciplinary software platform. And this is the article that summarizes the whole journey all the way to this point. And for the first time, this is 2014, we did our first natural restoration cases. It was unbelievable. The technology was there. Natural libraries. We scanned all these natural teeth. We designed cases, copy-paste, and it was looking good. The first few cases were already looking very decent. And scanners were improving, milling machines were improving, printing was starting, and the cases were coming out very nice. You know these slides, and we started to be able to develop all these marketing strategies. Marketing only comes after the benefits for the patient. Design, plan, present, perform, and then if you deserve, promote. That's the key. So this is the point that we are right now. Everything starts with the scanner, and then you can generate the magic afterwards. Is the workflow perfect? No. Are we constantly improving? Of course, yes. But we are already having in our hands amazing success stories of few clinics that are implementing the whole thing and actually being more efficient, being more profitable, growing, having more patients. We know the story. This is a very nice article, by the way, the most downloaded article from last year. I was proudly part of it. You see here also Rick Robley, Gerhard Schisch, and Markus Blatz. More or less, so-so team. Beautiful slide, a beautiful article directed by Markus Blatz that tells the history of aesthetic dentistry on the last 100 years, a summary of aesthetic dentistry. I don't need to show this, the magic of copy paste. You're all experts, so this is the moment that I tell people that are not very familiar with digital why digital takes over. The power of overlapping, the power of copy paste, how we can transfer information, and how we can design plans and deliver outcomes that look like the plan. So we all know the story, right? Copy paste dentistry, the magic of overlapping, that's the future. We went a little bit further. We realized that not only smile designers need to understand the face, but there are some references intraorally that are relevant. This is very cool. If you look at the mouth, regardless of how much structure we lost, how much reabsorption we have, there are certain areas of our bone that don't reabsorb, that don't move. So if the patient used to have teeth on a nice position, we can use these references to try to identify where teeth, bone, and gum should belong on the new design. We used this information on a case like this. I show this in some of the lectures. So we have the documentation, we have the planning. It's an orthognathic implant case. That what is the cool thing about this case is that if she doesn't accept orthognathic, we're gonna have to make one type of design. If she accepts orthognathic, we're gonna have a completely different design. Why? See if you agree with me. We say that smile design is facially driven, so we should first ignore what is in the mouth, right? I always say on residency, erase what is in the mouth and allow the designer a moment to design towards the face and then bring the model back, do the transparency and the comparison. Remember that? Right? Now here, what happens? If the patient will do orthognathic, do I need to design against the face? Or should I design against the remaining teeth? If the patient accepts orthognathic. What do you think? So if the patient accepts orthognathic, it's a very unique situation that you have a smile design plus orthognathic case that we will ignore the face to start with. Why? Because I'm going to design the missing teeth according to the existing teeth, and then I'm going to move the whole arch with the design towards the face. So the orthognathic planning will be towards the face, but the smile design, the teeth will be towards the remaining teeth. Make sense? Now, if the patient says, I will not do orthognathic, then we're going to ignore for a while the remaining teeth, and we're going to design towards the face. And then we're going to compromise, and we're going to try to see how the prosthesis can fake and gain some volume that the orthognathic should. Does it make sense? So two different plannings. Why I'm telling this story? Because this is the type of analysis that you can only do with 3D technology. You can only do these brainstorms. You can only see the differences. You can only show to the patient if you do 3D digital treatment planning, right? So the case was designed. You see, we are designing completely ignoring the face, and we are going for that measurement. Look at the measurements that we learned from the intraoral perspectives, that we know where teeth probably were before the accident. And then we plan the whole orthognathic into the face. We divide the surgeries in two. So first is, so everything is planned in advance. Everything can be manufactured in advance. So the splints and the implant guides. And then phase 1, orthognathic plus grafting. And phase 2, implants plus prosthesis. So usually at this point at this lecture, I go through this whole case that you're tired of seeing to show people how do we actually do digital dentistry today, all the way from erasing the teeth, going for the face, designing the smile, putting transparency, brainstorming, interdisciplinary simulation, and so on. And then I explain to people that all you need is an iPhone and a scanner, and then a little bit of insight of where the future is going. So if you want to see the future belongs to the virtual patient, and the virtual patient means that every company, and I can tell you, every company will follow this concept. They're already working on this. So your scanner, every tool you have will become a virtual patient tool. Meaning that more and more you're going to do more things with the same thing. So what you want, and I already told Itero, and Itero is already working heavily on that, is that the future belongs to these 5 files that needs to be done by a dentist on a first appointment as fast as we can, as automated as we can, and then chairside technology needs to overlap these files in one click. Bang! So the virtual patient has 5 files. Facial scan is already available. So now the facial scan will be embedded into your intraoral scanner. Then you do facial movements. So somehow we're going to have to capture the movement so we can eliminate what? The video. And then intraoral scans and intraoral movements. And then the CBCT. Okay? So that is the future. The pieces are there. The technology is already available. You see how it looks much better as a robot? Much better. I like the haircut.
I know that guy.
It's there. It's a big device. We have it in the office in Sao Paulo, but it's very cool. The patients are like, have you ever did scan regular patients, Jackie, with this? No? You should, because they're like, oh, they cannot, even if you throw the file in the trash afterwards, just do it for the patient to think you're the most amazing doctor on earth. You scan the movement, and it actually works, right? We know Mojaw, one of the best technologies to scan the movement of the jaw. I can guarantee that these technologies will be bought by scanner companies like this. And then you're gonna scan, you're gonna have the movements, so life will become very exciting, even more for the next few years with all this technology integrated, right? And then we design smiles in harmony with faces, etc., etc., etc. Conclusions. Everybody knows this case, right? Everybody knows this case, right? The mother gave the teeth to the daughter, beautifully designed by Angelo. I don't know if Angelo is in the room.
Yep.
Yeah. So we don't need to show this case. But the conclusions that I always mention, to be a dentist that delivers confident smiles, technically speaking, what we need 3 things. Number 1, we need to use facial-driven technology. And we need somebody that understands the face operating this technology. Because artificial intelligence is still far from giving us an ideal 3D in the face. Number 2, software needs to have natural libraries. Very simple. Number 3, material selection for proper value. Now, if we master these 3 things, and the ones using our DSD lab with Angelo are going through this journey, of course, these are the principles. The challenges of restorations are still the same. They need to fit, the contact points, the occlusion, all these things are still there, right? The preps need to be good, the scans need to be good, the impressions need to be good, the tissue needs to be controlled. Besides these things that never change and is still there, technically speaking, these are the 3 things that we need to master. The only way to master, and that's the reason why, the same way we believe that digital orthodontics is the future, we believe that restorations are monolithic. Because that's the only way to take advantage of absolutely everything I just talked. The whole lecture, with all the challenges that I shared with you guys, we can overcome these challenges with technology. We are already doing it, and we see the impact on every single case that we do. So there's light. There's new solutions to help us work less, with less stress, in a more efficient way, and hopefully make even more money with great dentistry. So when people say, can we do great dentistry without technology? Of course, everybody in the room here has been doing great dentistry without technology. Great dentistry doesn't need technology. the great dentistry can be facilitated with technology. So we become slightly better in all these key moments, and we become slightly more efficient and predictable. So we finish with what Peter Dawson said, and digital is the way to help us right here. Design, plan, and present. So the conclusions are: design before planning. Orofacial harmony is the key of modern restorative dentistry. Explore the 2D, 3D connection. We will develop more tools to allow you to have more inputs in the design. We need to understand pink and white. Don't forget the pink is as important as the white, but understand both against the face. Let's emphasize the value of a smile design team that understands orthodontic, dentures, and cephalometrics. A lab that understands how to take the best out of CAD/CAM to do beautiful natural algorithm restorations with monolithic restorations, using copy-paste dentistry, overlapping and complete digital systems to deliver guided dentistry. Why is worth investing the energy on this? Because our patients deserve. As simple as that. It's not for us, it's for the patient. When we deliver, and I can share my experience, as people know me from the old days, handmade wax-ups. Elaine, remember the courses. I was very proud of my wax-ups. It was sad for me that I was not waxing anymore on the courses, because it was more my moment. The DSD course was all about me talking, and the real show-off was when I was telling everybody, now everybody watch, and 40 minutes from scratch. And then I would challenge the stage, the auditorium, and say, look, I'm going to place this in the mouth, and it's going to look perfect, and we're not going to change one thing. Put the picture, and I was feeling very cool. And everybody, oh, your hands. Okay, the system helped me, but your hands, right? And when I moved into digital, when I started to use the natural libraries and place in the patient's mouth, I could see the difference, even though I was proud of my wax-ups. I could see how spot on the natural designs were, one after the other. It was like magic for me. And the first thing that came to my mind was not, oh, I'm not going to show off anymore. Oh, it's not about me anymore. The first thing that came to my mind was, the patient deserves. I need to perfect this workflow with that technology, not fight against it. And that's why we believe so much on the whole digital restorative workflow. And I think that somehow the summary of this lecture is, yes, smile design is the starting point of modern restorative dentistry. Yes, smile design is not under control, but we are part of the few dentists that are actually moving forward towards a solution. And we should be proud of that. And we should tell the story to our patients. We should translate this lecture into nice words to explain how dentistry towards our energy, because of our energy, is moving back into natural beauty and is going away from fake looking smiles, right? That's what we believe, okay? So this was the concept that I wanted to share with you to start the course. And I want to open for comments, if there's any comments. Any suggestions? And I would love to share more information for the ones that are actually lecturing to actually get this message out, right? Spread the message of natural beauty, right?
Question.
Yes.
What is it about Nemotech, and why do you think that other software platforms have not developed to that degree of interdisciplinary interaction?
Great question. First thing is that the industry didn't realize these two moments. And we as professionals, we didn't request, we didn't demand, right? There's one, I already mentioned this on the courses. Everything I said probably is pretty obvious, right? You have Pre-case acceptance, diagnostic, planning, presenting. Technology can help us so much here, but what is the problem? Why more doctors are not actually using technology at this moment? There's a very simple reason that we always talk about. That is the fact that everything that you do pre-case acceptance, you're paying from your pocket. And that's why we don't embrace, and that's why we don't move forward. That's why it's so challenging. That's why the clinics, they need to really struggle until the financial part of the thing is actually making sense, right? So we want to skip the process. We want to, no, this case I don't need, this case. So we don't take advantage. As we don't take advantage, even though it's obvious, imagine the companies, they will not develop solutions for us. If we are already struggling, they think, if we are struggling already to convince a doctor to buy a scanner to scan preps and buy a software to plan an implant, imagine a comprehensive facial-driven interdisciplinary platform. Nobody's gonna really buy it. And that's actually true. The change comes when we realize that this technology doesn't need to be developed for dentists to use. This technology needs to be developed for companies to use and serve the dentist. That's the future. So companies who are always developing software and think, I'm going to develop this software, and how many dentists will buy it? We need companies that actually say, I'm going to develop this technology and then I'm going to serve the dentist, and dentists will pay for the service instead of buying and learning this technology. So we can understand already that companies are now finally understanding these two moments, the difference between technology here and technology there. There's this technology on the second moment is already well developed, that we can manufacture amazing aligners, restorations, guides, denture, whatever here. It's already there. But now we need facial-driven interdisciplinary platforms connected to services. So a company needs to develop, invest a lot of money and not sell at all the software, but actually serve. So this concept is already happening, and I can tell you companies are already working on that. So we see all the companies buying stuff here and there because they are already understanding where the future goes. And the future goes interdisciplinary facial-driven platforms, services for dentists.
Like Blue Sky Bio years ago.
Blue Sky?
Blue Sky Bio, that is implant. Blue Sky Bio did that many years ago, and that's what they do. They give away the software and then they just charge for the STL that is coming out of
This
the
is a
software.
model that we've been talking since 10 years, that unfortunately companies didn't realize that, only Align 20 years ago. But now everybody's, you see, every implant company is buying softwares, not to sell, but to plan and serve. Yes?
How's official flow?
How's the official flow concept integrated in the planning center cases, and at least I haven't seen it in my presentations, but can it be part of the slide?
Not integrated yet, should be integrated, and it's one of my goals now that I'm here to actually develop time. Yeah? Tatiana will answer that.
You for sure you cannot see it on your presentations what we send you, but it's integrated as a concept.
Right.
We always have this in mind every time we set the smart frame and we say, oh, this is the red zone, this is the green zone, so we have this. Maybe for sure we can improve including this on the presentation. Christian will push us. I guess.
I think it'd be great. I don't show much.
And that's a good topic to discuss with the patients. So yeah, we should definitely, it gives a special touch.
I don't show much of the DSD Planning Center presentation to my patients, but I think that would be a slide that's very interesting, very cool to show.
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, we could explore more.
Any more questions? Fadi,
No, I'm good.
you're good?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I just answered.
Okay, so,
I have a question.
yes.
Yeah.
Where's the mic?
Hello, I'm quite familiar with the CleanCheck 3D controls, and is it possible in future to have some 3D controls on these plannings that you send us as a presentation, which is fixed, that we can only comment and get the result according to our comments, or is it something that we can choose the shape of the smile from the library? I want, other than commenting, I want this design from this library, or just to just pull it by ourselves and put it here and then extend and make it small, big, just to play. Is it something that is in your future plan?
Definitely, definitely. So we know that learning from a line, right? A line says, 90% of doctors doing Invisalign, whatever they get, they approve, unfortunately. But the 10% that actually understand, they want to have a possibility of interacting and modifying and putting their knowledge into CleanCheck and moving from the past instead of trying to write the modifications, actually have simple tools to modify yourself. That's when they brought CleanCheck Pro that actually pleased the 10% that actually know what they're doing. And that is great. That's where we want to do with Smile. That's where we want to go with Smile Design. So what we are today, we are still doing a 3D that you're seeing a picture and you need to comment on this picture, give us the information written, and then we will follow that and try to translate your comments into 3D movements. Of course, what we want is a little piece of the software that you can open at home on your phone, on your laptop, and you can do the modifications in 3D yourself, like the DSD viewer, or as we call the Smile Check, like CleanCheck Pro, the Smile Check Pro. So we are working on that. One of the possibilities, the closest possibility, is to start using systematically the DSD app as the starting point. And if you have the app, we have the app, and as we design everything in the app, you can modify that in the app, right? And then we can go to Nemotech and continue the project, copy paste to all the other planning. Does it make sense? So this is something that we were discussing a few weeks ago. That is something that we can do right now. Then there's other softwares that we are thinking about starting to use that also allows us to do that, right?
And actually, what I found out that DSD app is not connected with the DSD Planning Center account. So I don't understand why we cannot merge them, and why we can't see the case with the app.
Yes, exactly. So the DSD app until now is just a tool that you can use as an optional tool to document your patient and send the documentation to us through the app. And that was it, right? If you do the 3D yourself in the app, you could send that and we could continue from your 3D. But we know that doing the whole 3D is a nightmare, and that is not going to become a good business model for any dentist in the world. So recently, the 3D part of the app became good enough that we can start using as the starting point here, because the team, imagine, have 30 designers that are doing an amazing job with Nemotech, and now they need to go back and design on the app. But this is something that we really want to do for our premium clients, because we know our premium clients have the Smile Design knowledge to give good inputs and change themselves. So as soon as the design team starts using the app regularly, if the client has the app as well, before sending you a presentation with pictures, we're going to send you the 3D project in the app for you to modify or approve, and then we're going to send the whole presentation based on that. Does it make sense? Okay? And I hope Francis is listening, because he committed to that.
Richie, what is your actual recommendation? Because you said at the beginning that, considering the Andrea's question, that companies doesn't have a real interest in investing in the software that integrates the disciplines. And I remember you talking 5 years ago that you suggest and recommend that for the patient, that pre-treatment phase should be for free, because this is the best marketing of the clinic. Did you change your mind? What is the recommendation right now? Because we charge patients for this part.
So, very good question. Pre-case acceptance, everything we do before the patient accepts the treatment has the goal of diagnosing better, planning better, and selling better, right? Design, plan, sell. That's pre-case acceptance. Of course, we know that our business is not to do treatment planning, is to actually treat. So whatever we charge in terms of first, second appointment is just to cover a little bit of the cost. It's not our main business. So charging or not charging for the pre-case acceptance work that we do, it's much more a strategic decision. It needs to be a business decision, a marketing decision. What I say is that to start, nobody knows in your community, and your patients don't know DSD, they don't know the value. So you need to start just engaging them with these tools without charging, because if you charge as an extra product, people say, no, I don't need this, why do I need this? And they will not experience that. When things change, and maybe some of you, maybe even you, the ones that are doing DSD and doing a lot of social media on DSD, what is going to start happening is that patients will start booking a consultation with you because of DSD. And this is a completely new second moment that will start happening with doctors that are doing a lot of DSD. This becomes such a thing that the patients are learning so much online from your website, everything, that they're going, I want my DSD consultation, that the DSD consultation becomes a thing, becomes a product. And as soon as people start coming to you for that, it makes sense to start charging for that, right? This is what I think it's a smart strategy. Yeah, it's connected here. Any more? So something quick now before we break to break for coffee. I want to call my dear partner Brandon, my marketing arm, the one who made me realize that I actually love marketing. That marketing could be a job I could actually work on an agency. He promised me that if DSD doesn't go right, he will hire me on his agency, right? But the problem is that his agency is now DSD, so we have a problem now. We have to make DSD work. So what I want to do is, since he's the brain behind the website, I want Brandon to navigate. You want to show some slides before?
We can go back and forth.
Yeah. So I want Brandon to guide us through a quick tour to the website, and I'm going to take advantage of this tour to explain the new rules about the community. So very important for the DSD instructors mainly. We have some important new strategies that we want to share with you. Okay?
Yes.
So
I think the purpose of today is not just to kind of walk you through our website, but trying to give you a message that what Christian said, we have a wealth of information, and so we want you to take our website and leverage it. And I'm going to explain just some quick, short things that you can do where you become a bit more efficient. And so I'll show you through the website, I'll show you where to find all the great pieces of content, I'll show you some people who are using our content. And for us to create content, it probably takes us about 2 weeks to create a blog post. So you guys, if you take that blog post and repost it, it's the most efficient thing you can do.
We have some people doing that already very smartly, very nice. We work hard on content generation. We can proudly say that we are really creating a big volume of high quality content towards patients about all these new stories, right? So we want the DSD experts to spread the word and take advantage of that towards their patients, not to promote DSD to other doctors, to promote to patients. I want to start asking you a few questions. Who here already explored our new website? Okay. Who feels like you explored the whole thing upside down? Okay. Who here ever read one of our blogs? So for the ones, and I don't know if you know, but how many columns, how many articles we have already?
Well, we have 4 blogs, 4 separate blogs.
Divided in categories, right? What are the categories?
We have Christian's thoughts.
My thoughts? Useless.
We have business and marketing, we have clinical, and then we have news. So and then you can subscribe to either one. So you don't have to be subscribed to the ones where we just tell you about courses.
You can skip Christian
You
thought
can,
and
you
then
can
just
literally
have the
just
other
subscribe to Christian thoughts, or you can just subscribe to business and marketing, or you can subscribe to all four, which I would recommend.
And it's really a lot of information. You know, our team of content generation run by actually Brandon's wife,
Yes.
Marita. Marita is a brilliant copywriter, and it's amazing. I think she passes in between taking care of her kids.
Yes.
She's like looking for topics, and she brings the most amazing topics for us. Like, you know, to celebrate women in dentistry.
Yes.
Last week, she brought like amazing topics talking about how women, you know, are growing and taking over and doing amazing things in dentistry. So she's constantly bringing these amazing topics, and every topic she does, we explore, we brainstorm, we write super cool articles, and we share on the blogs, right? So many things that you can copy paste, you can change here and there, you can adapt. Just use the information because it's very, very cool and very powerful for the patients.
Oh, so we go. So I just want to show you, probably we can ask the people here how long it took them. But you can take our content, and I'll show you where it is. You can put your flavor, and you can talk it to the patient's perspective, and you can use our imagery, and you can use our content. And so you can see Andrea, you saw Peggy, and even Align share our content, which is amazing. And you can use it. It might take one of your team members, I don't know, 2 minutes to write, and then you reshare and repost. It's very, very efficient. Use our content. We want you to use our content. It's different to copying it and plagiarizing it. It's sharing it, and that'll be useful. So we'll go to the website and show you where you can find it.
So two things here. You can repost them, of course. The more reposts for everybody, the best. But you can also take the content and rewrite.
Yes.
Like Andrea did here. It became a marketing piece of her own, right? The same thing, Align took over one of our posts and beautifully used to promote their stuff. So both things are great.
Yeah, I would use the structure that we do to then just put your own flavor on it. So if you go into the blogs, there's a lot of thought about how to categorize, how to tell the story. You can just put it from a patient perspective. There's so many blogs which I'll show you that you can just repurpose for yourselves. It's going to save you a lot of time to do that. There's an app over here which is called Repost on Instagram, so you can use our Instagram. Chris is going to talk about it more tomorrow. But again, this becomes a social media strategy. The visuals, and that's Daisy. Daisy is the one who manages the DSD Instagram account and the copywriter.
Abuse her.
She creates amazing content with the help of the team. If you download that app, you can reshare our content and claim it as your own. So, and I think Chris is going to do some research into stories and sharing stories.
By the way, if you have cool stories of your own, you're not an expert on writing these stories, but you have suggestions of stories or real content. If you share with us and we see that it's interesting for us, we can write, because behind every text, the amount of know-how on copywriting and building these texts is huge. So you share the story, we can write the story for you, we can use the story ourselves, and you can use the story as well. So share insights, ideas that we can use. Okay? By the way, Miguel Stanley in the house, he arrived in time for his lecture. Yes. Hand of applause to Miguel. Came, left his 2 babies, recently born as well, like John. Some more babies. The world keeps moving.
Luke, can you just adjust the screen? Sorry, the website's not. It's not 3x1, unfortunately. So maybe I'll just press it.
Yep.
All right, so quickly going through the website to show you where to get the content. I'm not 3x1, so I don't know if Luke will change it.
Now it is. No.
There we go. All right, so we've got 3 journeys on our website. We've got the exploration journey.
Microphone from Brandon, a little too high the mic.
All right. This is where you're going to find most of the content. So if you go to the Explore menu on our website, obviously there's a menu about DSD, and then obviously the community, which Christian's going to mention, and the media. So we've got our exclusive content. We've got the
I think
DSD magazine.
On Explore, right?
Yes, we're on Explore.
So you have Explore, attend a course, and solutions.
Yes.
Okay, basically all the content, everything about the courses, and about our services. So basically the content for you guys is here, Explore. On About DSD, on methodology and on the company, we have some cool content as well, some phrases, some paragraphs, some information that you can reuse in your website, on your social media as well, okay? On the community, we're gonna talk a little bit later, the new process of growing on the community, and then here, the actual majority of the content.
So we've got the blog, which we've just spoken about. And as you can see, the blog is broken down into 4 separate blogs. So we've got Christian's Thoughts, and when you click onto Business and Marketing, you've got all the different blogs. And you know, when we talk about giving this to your team and saying, listen, write on these structures or these paragraphs, you can put your own flavor onto them. It will create awesome content for you guys. Even on the clinical side, there's some really good topics. There you go. You know, nature's.
Align put her on the billboard, we put it on our website. And we can't be behind Align.
Then obviously we've got the DSD magazine, great content, and then we've also got the knowledge base, which if you guys, we are slowly populating it, so all the tutorials, all the checklists, all the questions you might have about topics, they're going to start to be housed here. So the DSD and Align collaboration, the workflow diagrams, these are all articles that you can go through, and so this is just going to slowly build on itself, and you can share
this. This search engine is very, very cool. I want to emphasize. If you go back to the, so we see here. This is, if you go to, you put there for anything you put, everything is organized with keywords, so the website will find everything related to that topic. So
this is for the database, this is for the health base, but if we go to the website, we also have a search function. So if you type in here, I don't know.
Invisalign. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's got, obviously it's got our products which will come first, and then it's got everything where the pages and the partnerships and everything that's related to the topic here.
So from articles, blogs, slides,
everything that
videos
has the keywords it's going to show.
Courses.
Yeah.
Everything that is related to the topic is there. So the search is working very, very nicely.
And then we have our DSD content, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. But this is where every time Christian goes to Congress, he's going to put up his slides and his lectures in there.
Many people message me. They say, Christian, are you going to be on this Congress? Is DSD going to have a booth at that Congress? So if you click there, you go and you're going to see everywhere that DSD will be, every major Congress in the world, and every Congress that I will lecture, or the DSD team will lecture. So when people ask, you know, about maybe intro to DSD, a little lecture about DSD on Academy of Os integration, and then you see there, and you can find all the major congresses that we will be attending. Okay?
And then obviously all the articles which Christian refers to, they're easy to find. They're all named and correctly kind of filed. So this is where you find it. So you go explore DSD content and you'll find all the free stuff.
So DSD online education, who here has ever accessed DSD online education? Previously named DSD on demand. So the DSD on demand now it's called DSD online education. Why? Because there's more than the on demand. DSD on demand was DSD residency completely recorded and divided in episodes, and it's still there. So it's residency online, right? And then we have the certifications, the technical videos that we are recording more and more, like the one from Jackie yesterday. So we already have a lot of content on that as well, plus other courses that we are putting constantly. So
we're currently recording this meeting, and we're going to put this on the website for you guys to watch after the course. We can make people get access to certain amounts of content, so it's not going to be for everybody, it'll just be for certain individuals. So if you go to my account, you'll see
this
these.
is important.
you'll see this information. So this is where you can update your own personal information.
So according to your status and according to what you paid, for example, some things are paid. When you click on My Courses, you're gonna see what is in for you. So for example, DSD clinics, they have access to absolutely everything. It's part of the package, right? People that never did a DSD course, they can buy DSD online and get the courses, right? So if you are a clinic, you also get the marketing assets. So you can use now, I don't know if you knew, but from now on, you have all the logos, the backdrops, all the images editable over here in a folder.
Yeah.
So you can generate all kinds of amazing marketing material without waiting for us to develop for you. Besides what we do for you, you can also do here. So you have all the brands, even to put lectures together, very nice. Some people that probably paid more attention on slide design probably saw some new slides of mine. This is because I'm using the skills of these guys. Not that they're doing the slides for me, but I'm using the assets, the backgrounds, the fonts, the logos, and everything becomes nicer, right? So these are right here at the bottom, okay?
So yeah, like we're going to start to package the useful pieces, like the emotional presentation pack. We're going to give you the downloads. We're going to give you everything, the recordings, everything that's like Lindy did an hour tutorial, which you'll have access to and you can watch. And she basically gives you a masterclass, and that's what we're going to make available.
For example, the recording of this 2 days will be available on the website, but only for the ones that attended the course. So every piece of information we can filter. This is the hands-on from tomorrow, okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
But if you have access to the emotional presentation package, you're gonna be able to download this and do all your emotional presentations using these templates right here. Not only this, for the ones giving courses, this is very good for everybody that gives courses, because as you give a DSD official course, you can download that for the students.
Yes.
So you click here, click there,
Which one?
and you have here.
Yeah.
So you can do a beautiful hands-on about emotional presentation, because what you have here is the actual template, the files from a patient to use as a demo, and the hands-on, okay? And an amazing tutorial video showing step by step. If you click here, it's a PDF, click here. That you can give to your staff members.
There's the PDF.
Yeah, PDF. And it just explains absolutely everything on how to click, and in 5 minutes to. So this is the hands-on of tomorrow, okay? But then you gotta have the access to do this with your staff or with your students. Yeah.
Website. Sorry guys, 1 second. Yep, there we go. So I think I closed the website, sorry. And then I think the final thing, Christian, was the online education. You just wanted to go through
let's
that,
go
right?
there. Yeah.
So again, my account, my courses.
So of course everybody's logged in. Everybody here, somebody here is not logged into this new website, our new website. If not, ask for help on the break, get your login. Meaning that, of course, you can navigate to the website, but when you want to access the content that you own, you need to go there, and then this is gonna open. And then here, you have the full online content that is redesigned to facilitate the understanding of the process. So the residency, right? The extra courses that we're gonna add more and more, and then the technical, clinical courses that we are adding. So the ones that already went through on demand, this is probably the first, go to the top. So from module 1 to module 5 is the on demand, but we didn't have, if you go back a little bit, just let me summarize everything. There? Sorry. Yeah. So this is what was there since the beginning, but this course, for example, was not available. Now it's available, okay? This course will be available next month, because we're gonna record the content next month. This is available, this is new. It's a very cool, it's a 2-day interview that I did with a very well-known writer It's a non-dental writer that wrote some bestsellers, and he interviewed me for 2 days, and then we split the 2 days into episodes. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy, okay? Then we have a full new course on aligners. It's a very in-depth course with top clinicians. I have a few pieces of mine here, but most of these speakers are well-known orthodontists, okay? So it's an in-depth Invisalign online fellowship certification, okay? So it comes from this all the way.
No, it's inside the one.
Oh, it's inside here.
It's inside
Okay.
the one, and then we've got the.
So if you click here,
Yep, the view.
it's a lot of content. I don't even know how many.
So yeah. So there's 10
10
modules.
modules.
That's ready now.
It's ready there.
Yeah, it's ready.
Let's see module 1.
Yeah.
We're gonna add, it's missing the names, we're gonna add the names.
Yeah, we didn't have them, but
Yeah.
we'll put them on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got all the.
The intro
videos,
lecture is
yeah.
actually mine, but you see this is another, if we go back. Yeah,
So yeah, it's all there.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of content on aligners, okay? It's-
And I know that now that we've got this new setup, I know that Lucan has already been recording hands-on tutorials, and so the content's going to hopefully come thick and fast now because we just have to push record, and everything is possible now. So we can record in any part of the building, which is amazing. So that's cool.
This is gonna become a reality show. This room, this office. Okay, so explore this area. If you have questions, ask us how to bring these content into your page in our website. Okay?
Yeah.
Anything else here? And then the community, the final information that I want to share.
Yeah, I've got the slides. Sorry, guys.
Click on Keynote, it's gonna show.
Christian,
Yep.
one question.
Yeah.
Anything of the side, the videos, anything I can adapt to my logo in my clinic and using my website or Instagram?
Say again.
Anything that I found in the website, I can use in my website, in my clinic, adapting the
If you're DSD clinic, yes.
fam.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you can use it if you share the link and you don't copy exactly. You give credit, then we have no problem. Yeah.
If the asset, the logo and the things, if you're a clinic. Now the content, what we wrote, anybody can use. Anybody can use. Yeah. Okay. Now the slide. You want to show some slides?
Yeah, no, it's not having a good day. All right, so we are.
Okay, so these are the basic things that we are implementing. First thing, and you can tell your colleagues, we launched new courses. We have now clinical courses also, on each one of the procedures that we have. Everybody that buys a DSD course gets online, all the online content for free.
Clinical course.
Yeah, the residency, the whole online content for free till the day of the course. Why? Because we want people to actually watch in advance, get more ready to the course. Some people are registering to DSD Natural Restoration course. Say, but I wanted to watch the online to get a summary of residency and then do the DSD Natural Restoration course. So we are now with this strategy where you buy any course and you get DSD online for free till the day of the course. And then at the day of the course, the person can decide if they want to continue. And as I said, the DSD online platform is an annual fee that we will every month be adding more content. Okay, so that's the first thing that we are adding. So everybody that does the online, everybody that does the DSD online will get the same status as doing the DSD residency, because the online is the residency. And even the coronavirus thing is pushing us to allow people to get more access through online. And I think that this virus, besides, we're gonna get over this and it's just one more flu. But I have a feeling that this is gonna really make people think twice in terms of travel. You know, this craziness of 2 million dental congresses all over, and it's a nonsense. You know, events that people learn almost nothing, and companies are still pushing. I just have a feeling that we're gonna start to really prioritize quality, of course, relationships, travel for relationships, and quality content. But I really think that online will be pushed by this process that is happening all over the world. So we want to really emphasize the quality and the energy that we are putting on this online platform. We want that everybody that does online becomes part of the community. And what we're gonna do, that we are working very, very hard, we are transforming the full DSD content, meaning Residency 1, Residency 2, all the clinical solutions, design, plan, present, perform, promote, all the concepts that we teach in DSD courses will become a huge quiz, a huge online questionnaire that anybody will be able to take. For masters will become mandatory to take, and hitting at least 70% will be the minimum to become a master from now on. And from time to time, we're gonna refresh everybody's know-how by doing this simple quiz. So we're gonna have a bank of like 500 questions, multiple choice questions, and as you go to the website, you hit the button DSD quiz, and the software will select 25, always different questions that anybody can do. Even people that never heard about DSD will be able to do this quiz. It's gonna be like a cool way to have an intro to the concept, to check your know-how, just for fun. And you're gonna get a rating at the end of the quiz, right? And as you log in, you're gonna see how much you had achieved on the last quiz. So you can take the quiz again and understand if the courses are actually helping you to get a better sense of what is DSD. For people that are teaching DSD, I think it's very, very cool. First, because you can evaluate how much you actually know about the things that you are teaching. As I said, the best way to learn is to try to teach. So as you evaluate yourself, you're gonna see how many questions that even for you is confusing to answer, right? The other thing is that you can test how efficient you are as a teacher, because your students can take the quiz after the course. And if they take the quiz before your course and after the course and the numbers are similar, you see that your course is not being efficient, that your information is not flowing through. So I think that this global quiz platform will become something big, and we want to work on this next month and really make this available as a fun thing, but also a way to spread the word and have people engage with these questions that I think are important questions of modern dentistry. And of course, we will count on you guys on giving feedback on the quality of questions, if the questions are confusing, or even suggestions for new questions. So we can always feed this bank of questions with better questions, more questions, because we want people to be redoing this constantly. So we're going to put a lot of energy on this, and I think it's going to be a very cool way to spread the word about modern digital interdisciplinary dentistry.
Cool.
What else?
So we were talking about just refining what it means to be a DSD member and what the benefits are related to being a DSD member. So one was the planning center.
Yes. So this is very important. So what means being a DSD member? It means somebody that took the DSD residency in person with me, or we're gonna explain the new type of residency with our key opinion leaders without me. Then we're gonna call it Residency X, like TEDx. So people will be able to select Residency 1 with Coachman, Residency 1X with XYZ expert that will of course bring their own flavor, but will follow a minimum program that will certify that person as a member. Or the online. So with me, with another QL, or with online, you become a member. And what are the two main benefits of becoming a member? First, you get access to online content that you wouldn't get access if you're not a member. And second is a very important decision that we made, that the planning center will not work anymore with non-members. So the planning center will close for non-members. You need to be able to value the effort that we are putting to make this planning center work. You at least need to do the residency online with me or with somebody else, okay? So we will have no more other names for courses. DSD Concept, DSD Hands-On, DSD this, DSD that. Is DSD Residency. With coaching, X, or online. Period. Very simple. You want to become a member? Do the residency. Choose one of the three, become a member. You become a member, you can use the planning center, and you can access the content and continue to grow. So this is member. Master, everybody here is a master. The master will tighten a lot. To become a DSD master will become much more difficult. Don't worry. Whoever is a master ready is a master, right? But from now on, we really want to give value to this word. If you're a master, it's because you are a master. So meaning not only that you fulfill certain level of quality as a clinician, but as a DSD expert, as somebody that understands design, plan, present, perform, and promote, but also that we can keep that quality. We can see that the quality is there. Of course, that the DSD clinics, through the collaboration with us, are constantly, we are able to evaluate that, so they are constantly being renewed as clinics. But the masters that are only masters will have to submit one case a year, every year, and do a minimum of cases with us to keep their certification as a master. Makes no sense. We know that it's not nobody's fault. It's just that today makes no sense. Somebody that did the course in 2011 on Kino, that is still only doing Kino and saying that is a DSD master because in 2011 we did the master's. So we want to give value to this certification, to give value to whoever deserves to be a master, right? So becoming a master will become much more difficult. Carmen is the one in charge. She's really going through putting together a process of evaluation of the presentations, clinical quality, photography quality, presentation quality, treatment planning quality, the copy-paste quality, if digital is really translating from the design to the final outcome. So all these rules will become much more important to get your mastership, okay? And then every year submitting a case to evaluate.
One case a month, yeah.
Then, these are the advantages, right? You have discounts, we promote, we're gonna have a few people becoming masters right here at this event, as we always do. We do a cool pin ceremony, we transmit live, we promote the master on our social media, we give a little push in terms of marketing for the masters, in terms of promoting themselves to their community or promoting themselves as a lecturer if that's what they want, right? You get special promotions with the products, with companies that we have partnerships, and we have a list in the website that you can link to your website. So if the patient wants to know if you're really a master, we're going to promote that more and more. That's why we need to give value to the mastership, because we want to promote the fact that people can actually identify if you know what you're talking or not. Okay?
And then it's the DSD instructor status.
Okay, DSD instructor. So after the mastership, in the past, the next step was to become instructor. The ones that wanted to fulfill the educational path. So master is here, and then we had two paths. Christian, I'm a master and I love lecturing. I want to lecture about DSD. I'm spreading the word, so I want to pursue the DSD instructor path. Christian, I don't care about lecturing. I care about my office. I care about business, and I care about pursuing the DSD clinic. So they have instructor and clinic path. Okay, or people that are the both as well. Now, when it comes to instructors, what we're gonna do is that we will not have anymore the DSD instructor level. Everybody that is an instructor today will become a DSD KOL. So the name DSD instructor was creating a lot of confusion. There was KOLs, there was instructors, what is one, what is the other one? So we're gonna move everybody as a DSD KOL. What means DSD KOL? Is a dentist that believes in the ideas that we share, regardless if this dentist uses the planning center, regardless if the dentist uses our products, is a dentist that is spreading the word, that is a good speaker and is spreading the word. It's our ambassadors. So every instructor will become a KOL, right? And what is the difference? Is that all the rules that we had for instructors that were a pain in the neck for us to control the instructors will disappear. There's no more rules. As soon as you become a DSD QL, we give you the certification because we like the way you lecture and we like your message. Nothing else. You are featured in our website, and it's a win-win situation where we promote you as a QL and you can promote yourself as a QL. Period. That doesn't give us any control on what the QL does, but on the other hand, doesn't allow the QL to use absolutely none of our marketing assets. There will be no more DSD courses that are not organized by ourselves. No more DSD courses that are not organized by ourselves. It's something that we decided to do, even though most of the DSD instructors and some of the QLs were doing a great job with their courses. The problem is that some others were doing whatever they wanted with the brand and with the concept and with the message, and people were confused about what is an official course, what is not an official course. So there's only one official course. It's the course that we organize. We can collaborate with some QLs and do together official courses with the QL. So whoever the QL that wants to do a course about DSD, feel free to do it. If you want to promote your course and say this is a DSD course, you can. The only thing you cannot do is to use the brand with the font and the logo. So you can write, as Andrea, for example, did. You, Alistair, for example, that's the best example. You guys did a beautiful promotion about a course that was about many things, and DSD was among them, and you guys wrote course with the content. DSD was there, digital smile design. If maybe you can go there. This is the type of thing that is completely allowed. Okay, we have no right to tell anybody that you cannot use the word, the letters, DSD. Anybody can use DSD. Anybody can write digital smile design. You can call digital smile design with Philippe Saliba. You can do that. You cannot do our font and our logo. Okay? Very, very simple.
So
if you want to do our font, our logo, you need to get in touch with us. We need to find the best date. We need to officialize your course. We need to have complete access to your content. We need to know what you're going to talk about. You know, we need to fit into our yearly program and make your course an official DSD course. Basically, what you have to do is to transform your course into a DSD X course. Okay? Of course, that every X course will bring the flavor of the existing speaker. If you're more into function, it's an X course with a lot of function. If you're into implant rehabilitation, it's an X residency with a lot of real implant rehabilitation. No problem with that. But we need to fulfill a minimum of hands-ons, a minimum of content. It needs to make sense. The story needs to make sense with what we are talking, right? And if your course doesn't fit those rules, no problem. Just continue with your course and use the DSD word and letters without being the official logo. Okay? Clear?
And just on that point, for everyone who's been put on the KOL list, we just did some examples. We will, if you send us the information, we will list you and give you a profile page like we did with Fadi and Andrea. And so you have your key facts.
Nice. Hey.
And then obviously most of you have got publications, you go to congresses, you go to courses. If you send us that information, we will design and lay it out for you and put links to the places, so it'll pop up as a window and the person can find. And so if you want to promote your courses and your publications and where you're going to be speaking, fill in a form to the marketing team and we will customize and put on our website.
So this is something that we are doing for free or in exchange for the QLs that are spreading the word. You know, people like, you know, even Miguel Stanley that is here. He is a QL. He has his own lab. He does his own planning. He has basically the DSD philosophy is there. He's not using our company. Once in a while he does something, but he spreads the philosophy. He's a QL, so we are more than happy to link his profile into our page, since we know how many people visit our website per.
At the moment, we have 16,000 visitors
per
month at the moment.
16,000 organic visits per month in the web. This is very, very big for a corporate website, okay? So people come, and 99% are dentists looking for education. So if you send the information for us, we will build your page over here.
Yes.
And the minimum thing you can do, if you send the link of your website, right? We can link here. So when people click, what we suggest is that on your website, you have your course page. So you update your course page, you put the information of your course.
He's just seen it. He's just seen it.
Well, it's funny. We even make funny look good. So that's okay. So
There's a few hours of Photoshop.
yeah, but we made it. We made it.
I'm sure I'll get a bill.
So all the QLs, please take advantage of that. So from now on, the ones that were known as DSD instructors, please call yourself DSD QL, Key Opinion Leader, because that's actually what you do. You guys do an amazing job. By the way, something that people realized and came to me, some companies, some big corporations that are in all the congresses, or even speakers like Miguel that are on many congresses, many of them are coming to us and say, every single day, in every single congress, there's somebody or more than one person teaching DSD. So it's amazing voluntary work by amazing speakers worldwide spreading the word. Right? So we are more than happy to increase the volume of people clicking on your page and going to your website, finding your clinic, finding your treatments, finding your courses, and so on. Okay?
So I just want to talk about one thing, if I can, Christian, if you don't want to
Yeah.
talk about, if you finish with that topic.
Yeah.
We are asking you guys to collaborate with us a bit more, to get yourself featured and to help us generate content. So it's what we're going to call the Dream 100 at DSD. It's run by Marita, the content director at DSD, my wife. And basically what we're asking is, if you want to sign up, we will send you a survey. It'll be about 20 minutes of your time. You answer the question, we will collate the answers, and then we'll feature you in our content. It might be a blog, it might be on an Instagram post. We are just going to try and group everybody's information and create content. So we know that you guys are super smart and you have unique viewpoints, and we want to leverage that, and then you can leverage our promotion channels for yourselves. So what you need to do is you need to just email Marita. I think her email is over there, or you can ask someone else. And if you will just receive one email from us a month with a link to a survey. Well, it's gone now.
Oh, I think people are taking pictures.
Sorry about it. And basically it's a Google form, and it'll be a topic. What Christian said, Marita's very good at finding topics, and then she's like, what's your topic on this? There was one about what was Perfect Smile, what was Natural Beauty. It was a GQ magazine. And then we send out the article and you guys answer, and then we'll create content off the back of that. We'll let you know. We'll obviously give credit to you, and if you we'll put your links in our blog and our content. And we want to create as much content from yourselves because we want to double our output, and we know that you guys can help us with that. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's it.
Yeah, you had the co-grow.
Yes, and then the final thing is we finally got around to a place because of the resources and the time. I know some of you guys, I spoke about it about a year and a half ago, but we're finally there. And what I want to do is I want to create a co-grow kind of marketing mastermind. It's not about teaching. I'm not going to teach. I'm just going to facilitate a group discussion. And what we're going to do is we're going to share, and we're going to try and solve each other's problems together. We're going to meet bi-weekly. Time zone's a bit of an issue, but I'm going to, everyone who wants to join, we will try and figure out a time zone. And they're not going to be recorded, because what I want is I want honest discussion. I want people to share what they do for the good of the community and the group. And obviously I will bring experts, I will bring the topics. And so what's going to be is once a month I will run a session on a topic, and then the other session will be a clinic presenting what they do. Because we can all learn from each other. We have so much, and that's why it's called co-grow. And so if anybody's interested, message myself and everybody else.
So we're gonna have, these are like forums, okay? So we want to organize specific forums since the community is growing on a specific topic. So this, for example, is a marketing co-grow. And another one that we're gonna have, that we're gonna announce, is the iTero co-grow. So what we're gonna do is create a study club, a virtual iTero study club for everybody that has an iTero or everybody that is thinking about buying an iTero. You can join the study club and we're gonna have amazing discussions. Why? Because we realize that many times companies don't even know how to teach their own technology. It's very hard for a huge company to train 300 trainers to be the best trainers ever. So we saw the huge difference between being trained specifically on iTero by 10 different people. 9 of them really didn't share the tricks, and we were lucky enough to have one amazing trainer that changed completely our life as iTero users. This is the topic that Jackie will share tomorrow, right? So what we want to do is potentialize that by creating this study club. And since we have so many people that are already doing so good with the scanner and people starting, I believe this is going to become very, very powerful. And all the other topics that become very important, we can create the co-grow forums on specific techniques. For example, DSD Natural Restoration. So we're going to start a co-grow DSD Natural Restoration where we have a forum on that, and everybody that is trying, using, finding solutions, suggesting, and we all grow as a group.
As a group, yeah. And that's all. You wanted to talk about the rebrand, or was that later?
No, just finished with the rebrand.
Okay. Well, we have a video for you. So,
Yeah.
all right. So you wanna?
I heard you had a surprise for me.
A video, yes. So we
For me, for everybody.
For everybody. So Christian hasn't seen the video, and you guys are going to see the video together. We obviously went through a rebrand, which was having worked with DSD since 2014. It was always an issue with the designers and ourselves, the logo, and Christian is so attached to his logo. It was very, very hard for him to make the changes, but he, you know.
I was really attached to the first logo, you know.
So it took us a while to convince him, and then obviously we went to
It took you once to tell me, what do you think about changes? Okay. I cried, but I changed.
All right, so Lincoln, have you got it? Okay.
So everybody saw this logo, right? And also you probably saw on the jackets of our team this new pin. I know that most of you have the old pin. Keep it, because in 50 years will probably be worth a lot of money. That's vintage. That's a classic. So we have the new pin, and each one of you will get the new pin tomorrow. Okay, you're gonna get the new pin. And you're gonna start keeping the history of the evolution of the DSD brand with your pins. And the new pin is exactly the new brand that Brandon and his team beautifully designed.
Right,
We have audio?
Do you want to go? Yeah.
Okay, it's special. It's like a real deal. This I'm curious now. We have audio? Fantastic, my friend. Thank you.
No worries, buddy.
Okay, let's make a quick break, 15 minutes coffee, and we come for the final lecture. Miguel Stanley in the house. Okay, enjoy.